Welcome to Podcastville. The Church of What's Happening Now is brought to you by ZipRecruiter. In need of great talent for your business but short on time? You don't have to get lost in a huge stack of resumes to find your perfect hire. You just need the right tools. With ZipRecruiter, you can post your job to over 100 of the web's leading job boards with just one click. So you can rest easy knowing your job is being seen by the right candidates. Find out today why ZipRecruiter has been used by growing businesses of all sizes and industries to find the most qualified job candidates with immediate results. And right now, the Church of What's Happening Now can post jobs on ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, Uncle Joey's coming through again, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/church. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/church. One more time to try it for free. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/church. Number 2, bidets are back. Let me explain the situation that's going to happen. In 2 weeks, your family's going to come over your house. They're going to eat turkey. They're going to eat pie, pumpkin pie, salads. Everything's happy. But if you invite 10 people, 4 people are going to go in your bathroom and fuck that motherfucker up. Then sit on your couch with that rotten ass protruding, leaking through the underwears. You know your grandmother's ass stinks like a fucking mule. So this year, make sure your family shits in your house. They leave with a clean ass. Get a Tushy bidet for $69 with a risk-free 60-day trial. For starters, go to HelloTushy.com and use the code CHURCH for 10% off your order. Hello Tushy's going to change your life. You know what? Why? Because your asshole's going to be clean. And when your relatives are coming over, their assholes could be clean. So you'll be one fucking happy family of clean fucking assholes, all right? Cake that fucking mule, Lee. We're in your fucking living room. Greetings, cocksuckers. Welcome to the Church of What's Happening Now. Josh Wolf, my man Lee Sayat. Everybody's in the house. Before we get this started, if you came to the shows in New York, thank you very much. If you got hit in the head with a chair, I'm sorry. Things happen at the church reunions, you know what I'm saying? It's like an Irish wake, the church reunions. Somebody always leaves with a bottle, get hit in the head. But listen, we had great times. You guys are family. Thank you very much for showing up.
But you said you didn't even know.
I didn't even know what was going on.
What was going on, yeah.
I thought it was like Puerto Rico in the States. There was chairs thrown and shit. But, hey, that makes for a good night. People like entertainment and stuff like that.
It's memorable.
It is very memorable. What's up with you, Mr. Wolf? Where were you this week in Atlanta, Georgia?
Yeah, man.
How was that?
I love that club, the Punchline down there.
The new Punchline?
Yeah. Do you like that?
I've never been there.
I really like it. They love you. Marcy loves you down there.
Okay.
We were talking about you. But that club is just cool. It's in Buckhead now. And I love the Atlanta crowds.
How far is it from the airport? It's still the hour?
25.
Okay, it's not the long one.
No, 25. No. That one was that. They're not at that anymore. They're in like Buckhead. It's like 25 minutes.
Oh, this is a Punchline. What was
Punchline. There was an improv for a little bit, but Punchline was the one that you did.
Terrible.
The Punchline was the one you did, but it was way out there. It was way out there.
Right.
But this one is just closer to downtown.
Okay, yeah, I didn't like that fucking long ride on Monday.
You were in the middle of nowhere. Too.
That sucked.
Because you couldn't get out of the hotel and you were in the middle of fucking nowhere. I'm getting a little older. I like the gigs to be somewhere like where I can get out of the hotel and just like see something. Just something, walk to something.
Me too.
You know what I mean?
I'm the same way. I like the sun. I could tell when you're in your hotel room too long. Like some mornings I go down and get breakfast, smoke a joint, you go back to your room, you read, you write. Then it's 11 o'clock and you're like, something's not right.
Yeah.
Something's not right. And you go outside and you're like, this is what I need. I need the sun. And you want to go somewhere. When they put you in those hotels that are close to the industrial park, those are the worst.
The first one in Austin?
Like
a couple years ago?
Yeah, like the one in Austin. But then I made them bring me back to DoubleTree.
But sometimes you're in your hotel for too long. This weekend, the Do Not Disturb was on the door all weekend, and I didn't really leave the hotel room. So at one point, housekeeping knocked and asked, "Is everything okay? Is everything okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, everything's okay." And they were like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." They're like, "Do you need anything?" I'm like, "No, I'm good."
It's
like
so
sometimes
weird,
I just get stuck. Sometimes I just get stuck in the hotel room. Sometimes, if you're not near anything, I just get stuck and I just pulled the fucking shades and I'm there all weekend.
Well, what a lot of people don't understand is, I was talking about the downfall of Houston. We spoke about the Houston comedy scene. I think I was talking to you about it. And we were talking about, when you went to Houston 15, 20 years ago, it was such a party. The whole week.
Yeah.
And it was a great party. Like,
What was that club?
The Lifestyle.
Yeah.
That was it. And it started Tuesday, and you were there till Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And you stayed till Monday for the open mic because you never missed the open mic day, And when you left there, I realized that a lot of those guys drank every night. Like, they just went from headliner to headliner. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's here next week? David Tyler. We're back here tomorrow night. Who's here next week? Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah.
They had those type of lineups. So when they came to Houston, when they came to L.A., they'd see the same comics. And now we're not drinking, because you're in L.A. You got to get up at 8. You got to be sharp. People don't understand. When you go on the road, you're a different animal.
You have to be.
Now, there's two different types of animals. There was what I was till 10 years ago. That if I knew I was leaving Wednesday night, I wouldn't snort Monday and Tuesday. Because I was like, what's the use? It's a waste of snort. I can only snort till 1. I can't start till 10 till my wife falls asleep. And on the road, I could start as soon as I get off stage and stay in that hotel room.
Did you snort the entire time you were on the road?
Yeah.
Did you? From when you...
There was never a weekend that I didn't do coke or score it in one way or another. It got worse as it, like towns like Houston, Miami, that was just, for me, was a snortathon.
Yeah.
When, it's like those guys that sell T-shirts. That's why I don't sell T-shirts. Because I never want to come back to you and you go, how was your weekend? I sold 80 T-shirts.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me nothing about your comedy. You didn't tell me if you bombed the third show. You didn't tell me that you improvised. You didn't tell me that you had great crowds. You didn't tell me nothing. It's the same thing. I didn't go there for the comedy. I went there because I had 3 coke dealers, and I was about to make $1,600 in 2 weeks.
Did you book cities that you knew you could get coke in?
Absolutely. El Paso, Houston, Miami, Buffalo, anywhere where I knew it was right there in the club. Like, I don't have to fuck around and wait for Johnny's
El Paso,
cousin.
like Kelly Moran?
No, he was somewhere else. He was in Lubbock.
He? Oh, maybe he was in
Lubbock and those places. Wherever you are in Texas, there's blow. So no matter what town you go to, all you need is 3 hours and you bump into a Mexican. And within 10 minutes, a mule will come around the hill with bales of blow. But no, that's the way it was towards the end. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I went out for the art. I went out because I knew I was going to stay somewhere where I wouldn't be bothered. One of the worst coke binges I ever went on was a Rogan in Vegas. And he had nothing new. And I'll tell you how bad I was.
But he had no idea.
No idea. And I was getting coke from a guy in Vegas that was giving you an 8-ball for $90. No, maybe like 110. But for $125, he gave you a come down kit. So he'd give you 2 Vicodins, 2 Xanaxes, and something else. Something crazy, like nothing spectacular.
A real wheeler and dealer, this dude.
So I would tell him, don't give me the Xanax, give me the Vicodins, which is no bueno. So we got it on a Thursday night, and my friends were in town from Jersey. They were like a big-time hotel, and they kept calling me, going, come over. I didn't see them the whole weekend. I had a show on Saturday. I went in there on Thursday. Like, Joe didn't get until Friday. I had a whole night without Joe. Like, they called and said, do you want to do radio Friday? Joe doesn't want to do it. I got a room Thursday night? Yeah, I'm on it. And I would go to Vegas, call that guy, and he was so tight with the hotels that he was walking it right to your room. Most hotels don't let you go up the elevator
without
after
the key.
midnight.
Yeah.
He knew everybody. He greased everybody's palm. 10 minutes, he'd know, where are you? I'm at the hotel right next door. I'll be there in 10 minutes. You're like, woo. Because you got like a little bit left. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make the call. You're like, that's not going to last. It's 3:30. I got to go till 7 a.m.
I mean, that's a good drug dealer right there.
Oh, he was a brilliant drug dealer.
I remember, I forget who you were complaining about, who you were complaining that they were a bad drug dealer. But I remember when it made me laugh. You were like, this motherfucker is the worst drug dealer. You were like, he doesn't pick up the phone. I'm like, dude, he's a drug dealer. You're like, they gotta have some etiquette.
They gotta have etiquette.
Yeah, they gotta have some etiquette.
That's why you always gotta owe your drug dealer something.
Yeah.
How much I owe you? $160. Shit! I only brought $120. I'll call you tomorrow with the $40. They'll pick up the phone. You owe them $40.
Oh.
Look at this guy.
You always gotta owe your attorney money. He sends you a bill for $2,500. You send him $2,250.
You're like a
What happened to
a mental gene, a mental.
What happened to that $250? I got you on the phone, didn't I? I always got to keep you on the hoop. You
know the lawyer opens that fucking mail and is like, this motherfucker.
This motherfucker.
Then always underpaid.
Guess
Especially
what?
when the bill says $2,500.
And then he calls you. Now he has to call you and ask you what happened, and you still go over your case with him, and he can't charge you because he called you.
Wait, if they call you, they can't charge you?
No, because he's calling me for the money. But by the way, by the time I got you on the phone, let me ask you a question about something. I just got a subpoena letter here.
Oh my god!
I mean, I'm gonna try that.
You always, if you have a problem with people picking up the phone, owe them money.
Oh yeah, they will.
To always pick up the phone. I had those drug dealers on fucking speed dial.
That really, listen, and I've heard you say a lot of things. That makes about as much sense as anything you've ever said.
What's her name bought? 180?
I don't know.
I love when they leave that hinge, that hook.
Yeah.
That's how I get you. How much? 155. I'll give you 140. What about the 15? I'll be back tomorrow. Open the door.
What about the 15?
I'm just so.
And then tomorrow I come back for a gram at 60. So what do I owe you? 75. So I'll come with 50. And now I owe you 25. So I get you deeper in the hole without you even knowing. I used to owe, when I was running those 3 drug dealers, El Compadre always had to pay cash. There's nothing you could do there. It's cash and carry. But the other 2 guys, I always owed them money. I owed them money till they actually threatened me.
Is that right?
Yeah, like Joey. Come on. The tab is too high.
Yeah.
And I'd had the money. I'd have the money, but I refused to give it to them. Because my addiction was so strong, I never wanted them not to pick up the phone. I always told them the next day I'd have that 700 for you. I got the 700 tomorrow. Then I call them and show up with 2 in front of another 8-ball.
Oh my god!
So now I got you back to the fucking 625.
How many people would you owe money to at one time?
3?
Oh,
What years were that? What's that? What years were those?
Okay, when I was in New York, everything's cash and carry. You know, $40 if you go into Manhattan. But when you get personal dealers, people who sell out of their house, they're cash and they're always. You treat them good for a month, you keep them on point, then you start smacking them around. It's fucking crazy.
I have to tell you, one of the things that I like the most about the legalized weed out here is that you don't have to go to that dude's apartment and get and just sit on the couch and pretend like you like him. Do you know what I mean? And pretend like you want to smoke a joint with him or whatever, or pet his dog or whatever the fuck. You know, that I'm really glad that part, because you would knock on the door and he'd be on the couch. He's like, come in, fucking. You know,
it all depends.
I don't miss that at all.
Like tonight, I didn't stop at the weed store, but it's the same shit. I got to park. I got to get out. I got to take my wallet out, give my fucking license. Sometimes I don't have cash. I go to the Russian ATM machine, which means Trump got my fucking license number and ATM number. Then I go and I buy the weed. It's the same fucking thing. They throw these hot girls at you that don't know about weed, and they give you what gets them high. Meanwhile, they weigh $110, and they listen to whatever their boyfriend says. So I'm in the same predicament.
Yeah, by the way, when people tell you that their weed is good, they have no idea.
I throw it away. I try to help people out and try to explain to them this ain't gonna do nothing to me. There was a kid at the ice house for 3 weeks. This is my test. There was a kid at the ice house kept bugging me for 3 weeks. Hey man, I grew this weed. Here it is. Talk about it on the show. Now, I smoked it at night. Nothing happened. Mm-hmm. The next morning I got up nice and early. Nothing happened. While I take a shit in the morning, that first shit, I'm smoking at the same time because I got the bathroom to the door now. And nobody knows nothing. So I'm shitting and smoking at the same time. If I call you at 7:30 in the morning, I'm smoking pot, rest assured I'm taking a shit. I'm sitting there with the pipe, smoking it, and then when I finish, I wipe my hands, I wash my hands, I pick up the pipe again, and I go back to town.
How often, when you call me in the morning, are you taking a shit?
If I'm calling you in the morning, sometimes I'm sitting at my desk, but if I go in the bathroom, that's my phone time. So I'll smoke while I'm writing tweets and shit.
Yeah.
People are calling me because they're like, oh, he's awake. I'm awake, but I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing for you.
Yeah.
I'm on a roll right now. I'm listening to music. I got on weed. I'm not stopping to talk to your dumb ass about whatever. So don't even bother. My phone's on the charger anyway. So now when I go to the bathroom, I return those calls while I'm
So
smoking.
he talks to you when he's taking a shit all the time.
But I don't tell people I'm taking a shit. I'm not that rude. I just take the shit and talk to you about business, whatever.
Oh my God. I did a podcast once on the phone, and this kid took a pee in the middle of it.
Oh yeah.
He never released it. He took a pee during the middle, and you can hear the pee.
He never released what?
That's why.
The podcast.
Oh.
But it's
Oh, really?
it's really crazy when you. What are we talking about? We're on a good subject.
Yeah, I don't.
Drug dealers, weed dealers.
Yeah, all that shit. I like going to drug. I miss going to drug.
I don't.
It took me the longest to get a license because I did not like the whole process of it. I missed the Friday. I missed the getting your $200 check. I really missed getting your $240 check and getting your check, cashing it, going to the bank, putting $100 in the bank or $140, and going to that weed dealer's house and buying your little $35 bag of weed and putting it in the trunk and driving home knowing it's illegal. And then you'd stop at a liquor store, you stop at the coke dealer's house. You got to stop and get rolling papers. It's a complete. See, I liked it because
You can still do all of that, except replace going to the weed dealer's house with walking into a store with lots of options. You know what I mean?
too many options, though. I like places that I wish. I mean, I wish. I told somebody the other day that.
Yeah, but better weed now or before?
We came 20 years too early, because I wish that I could put a camera, tap it, and show people my memories. Like, I really wish. Like, there was a place I bought coke at that you just walked in, there was a dinner table.
Where was this?
A card game. It wasn't even a dinner table, it was a card table. That's it. And two couches in the living room.
In Hollywood?
No, fucking Hollywood. NYC. Old school, where you'd walk in, there'd be a guy with a gun, 3 guys with guns at the door, Colombians or Dominicans, and you sit on the couch, siéntate. And then you're next. You walk in the room, there's 2 bags of coke, there's a little electronic scale. Guy puts a card on the table, you snort it, takes the other batch, you snort that. What do you want, 35, 25? You get it. He puts aluminum foil, gives it to you, gives the cash to some other guy on the way out, and that's it. On the hallway, they got 3 people guarding.
That's
Just like that. I used to buy coke at places like that. One of the first places I bought coke was on 137th in Amsterdam, and there was a Colombian disco. And in the daytime, they fought chickens. So I always went at night. Now at night, you'd walk in there, and there were people at the door fucking lit. Like, this is 82, 83, with guns. All right, the guy checking an ID would have a gun, and you'd walk in, and you'd say, "I'm here to see Josh," and right there they'd press a buzzer, and Josh's head would be DJing. So Josh would be DJing, okay? You know, 82, spinning the records, must be the music. To all these Spanish people who don't speak English, you know, and they charge them $7 a beer and doing the Spanish stuff. You'd walk into the DJ booth, he'd close the door, and before he closed the door, he'd stick his hand in the door. You see, if I open the door has a thing up on top. They caved it out, and they'd hide the coke in there.
in the top of the door.
In the top of the door. So he would stick his hand out, take the baggie out, and he had a scale in between the 2 turntables. It was crazy. This is 82. I was in high. I still remember that the night that, you know, when they do the senior awards, most likely to succeed. Like that night, for example, my friend Sabatino's father had a liquor store. So our plan was to go into the city, cop, get weed, coke, and on the way back, rob the liquor store. He had the keys and the alarm codes. I will never, ever forget that night. So think about it. The night that you're giving away awards.
Yeah.
Me, this kid Fernie, and this kid Stinky went into the city while the awards were on, and we picked up 4-8 balls, lewds. You know, by the time we got to the awards ceremony, it was over. I had quit high school already. But the kids that I went with were like, my friends came out and they're like, you won. The kid that drove won best body. And he was with me getting high in the city. But you would walk to the back, people would be dancing, and you'd walk to the dance floor. They'd open the DJ thing for you, and he'd get the coke from the door, and he'd sell you whatever you want, a couple of 8 balls and shit, grams of coke. That was it. That time, that's all I was buying. I wasn't buying ounces or nothing.
But that's like Chewy's hat.
Like Chewy's hat, yeah. So he would walk out. But I've gone to some tremendous places to cop. I mean, I could write a fucking book. Mr. Wendell, remember that song 20 years ago? Mr. Wendell. The black dudes that were hot.
No,
right.
Mr. Wendell?
Put on YouTube and put on Mr. Wendell. You'll remember this. How old are you? 44?
48.
Okay, yeah, you remember this song. This came out in 93.
Mr. Wendell?
Yeah, it was a black song by a popular black group.
Wasn't
Like the Fuji, one of those, you know, like those, they all came.
Oh, yeah.
Like what happened to the other guys? The Filipino, the 2 black guys, and the chick.
The what?
They're done. You know, the
who?
chick that was married to the guy on NBC, and then he cheated on her, the strip thing. She's from the Valley.
She's from the Valley
He's
here?
Filipino. Yeah, the black dude. Arrested Development.
Oh, yeah.
You don't remember this fucking song?
Arrested Development.
See?
Yeah.
From Arrested Development, I'm the leader. My nose is
Fast forward this to the song, Mr. Wendell. See if we remember.
right over there, headliners.
Keep going.
Here, have a dollar. In fact, no, brother.
See?
Here, have two.
So we used to go to a place on 125th. That's good, Lee. I just wanted the memories. We used to go to a place on 125th and Broadway.
Memories.
And he was an old black dude. Old. He had to be 70. And all he had was Wise potato chips, a couple sodas, and bulletproof glass. And you went in there, and you'd say, what do you got? And he'd say, I got Buddha tie today. 10s and 20s. And I'd confuse him. I'd say, give me 3 10s and 2 20s. And he'd go, what? 2 20s? And all of a sudden, next thing you know, he would put them under the thing, like 7 of them for me to look at them.
Yeah.
And I'd clip one. I had Mr. Wendell down to his science, poor old guy. This is when I was broke. When I go over there with $28, 20 for the bag and 8 to get over and back. That's enough for a hot dog.
Dude, I gotta say, the first time I went to a dealer's house to buy coke, I was probably, I think it wasn't until I was like 19 or something like that. I was in college. The dude scared the piss out of me on purpose.
That's what they do there.
On
Fuck
purpose. So, dude, because I went with a buddy of mine, and he just said, only one. And he pointed at me. He was like, you, come on. And so my buddy, he was like, and you go wait down the street. So my friend went and fucking walked down the street, and I was like, damn it. And he had this Doberman lady that as soon as I walked in, just walked right up to me and followed me, growling the entire time. And he goes, sit down right there. And I sat on the couch, and the dog sat right by the edge of the couch, just staring at me, growling. And I was like, hey, listen, man, if this is like a bad time or you need me to come back or whatever, I'm happy to do so. If you and lady need to, take a walk or whatever. And he was like, no, now's a good time. He's like, what was that you needed? You needed some coke? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, all right, I'll be right back. And I just hear him go, lady, stay. And he just disappears in the other room. And the fucking dog is just right there, just staring at me, growling. And I was just like, what the fuck is about to happen? Like, I seriously thought, if I run, for sure, the dog is going to bite me, right? Like 100%. So I was just sitting there. I'm just trying to stay fucking cool in the least bit. And the dude, was gone, felt for like 3-4 minutes. And he starts laughing. He comes back. He goes, "You lasted longer than most people." And I was like, "Oh my God." He goes, "Let it go," and runs away. And I was like, "Phew." He was like, "I was just testing you, man." I was like, "For what?" He was like, "Just to see if you were going to, shit yourself." I'm like, "Yeah, I basically did, man. I basically did shit myself." And I never went back and bought Coke from anybody ever again. I always got somebody to get me Coke because I was like, I'm not fucking
Coke dealers were always
doing that shit.
My first Coke dealer was Patty D, another guy that wore a robe.
Yeah, man.
time I
Like,
went over
why?
there.
Why a rope?
But he made the best tuna. He put lemon juice on it. He squeezed fresh
Why are you
lemon
eating
on
his tuna?
Because he would offer it to me sometimes when I would go over there. Then I had this other, like the funniest things happened when I was younger and go to drug dealers. These are the things I remember. Never mind the things I forgot, The time I went to Gunter's house to sell him a fucking bidet, one of those fucking things where you put your glasses in and dishes.
What?
Dishwasher?
No, I stole this fucking thing. You ever go to your mom's house and in the fucking kitchen, she's got a thing that holds her wedding dishes and silverware and glasses. Yeah. I found one on the street one day in a box, me and my friend, and we picked it up and stole it, and we brought it to him, and that night I went back to get the money from him, and he had the robe on, and he had a chick over there that was sucking his dick while he would take a shit. I mean, that's what I bumped into. Those are the houses that I loved, all that shit. When you go somewhere to get Coke and they got drama over there, I love all that shit.
I just thought of a question I can't believe I've never asked you before. If you added up everything that you've stolen, ballpark, you ever thought about how much just total price of shit you've probably stolen?
Let's get even kinkier. The other day I was sitting there the other day on the plane going, I wonder if I could cut my nose off and there's like a ticker in there for how much Coke I did to translate it into fucking money. That would, because you got to remember, the last 10 years I paid for everything. Like for every line that I got from 97 to fucking 2007,
and
I
by
paid
the
for
way,
everything.
You weren't a let's go out to a party and I'll put my drugs down kind of guy.
No.
That's not what was happening.
No. I let other people do that. Yeah, you're great. Oh my God, this Coke is tremendous.
Yeah, that was not your thing. No,
I've been to parties where people just emptied one bag after the other.
Yeah,
to be a big shot
that was not your thing.
to impress girls. No. It's funny because when from the time I started to the time I went to prison, I stole 70% of that blow I did.
Stole it from who?
Anybody and everybody. Whoever sold Coke, and I would just set them up. I'd have 3 or 4 dealers at one time, and whoever got the weakest on me.
Do you think? Do you think maybe like it's close to breaking even between the stealing and the buying?
Yeah, honest to God, I just had this thought process on the way to New York on Thursday. I was high on JetBlue, when you're high.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I know the last 2 years, all those years in L.A., Jesus, from 2000 on, easy, $300-400 a week. You know what it is to spend $1,200 to $1,500? Like, after 2003, I was spending close to $2,000 a month between the weed and the blow.
Holy shit.
And how much?
You have to, let's add it up. A gram is $60. I was doing 2 grams a night, 4 times a week.
Can I ask you, how much did you weigh when that was going down?
Who the fuck knows? I wasn't weighing. I was waking
I know,
up.
but like, because what I always thought was like, how is he, for a dude that big?
$600 a week times 4 is $2,400 a month.
Right.
You figure I was buying 2 eighths from Faberman for $60 a fucking eighth. That's $120. and I was buying fucking 8 grams a week at $60. That's minimum. That's if I went to, let's say I went to El Compadre one night and bought 2 20s and he gave me the pure shit. I wouldn't go back out that night, or I had an audition the next day. But the last 2 years, you got to assume I was doing 2 grams a night at 60 a gram.
And were you going to
Every night?
Every 4 nights a week.
Were you going to dispensaries then? Because I know that when the dispensaries opened, you told me that like you spend a ton at dispensaries.
No, I wasn't going to no fucking dispensaries then. That's, you know. Then after 2004, I got one of the credit cards back. And I remember one month I put $5,000 at the dispensary on it. My wife never got mad at me and nothing like that. You know, my wife understands when it comes to my reefer. But that time she sat me down. I maxed the card out. It was at $4,800
In a month?
in a month from the pharmacy. I was dropping 3 a day. I was going in there dropping 3 every 2 days, every 3 days. That's when they had lollipops and cookies.
Those breath mints.
The breath mints, they had the 8s were $90 in those days, guys. The weed was beautiful, and it was $90 in those days.
The breath mints were the first edibles to really fuck me up. Because they put them right under your tongue.
The breath strips.
The breath strips, yeah. The breath strips. Those are the first ones.
The best edible back then was Kushmart had a taffy.
I never had that.
No, that would just send you to Jupiter. It was 10 years beyond. I'd like to know who the fuck those people were. You know what you get? You know what those things you get coke in that you have to open, those little zip bags? You have to open, and then you do a bump. It was the size of that. It was like a Jolly Rancher, like a little Jolly Rancher, but flat. And when you opened it, you could actually see the THC oil on the bottom of the bag, like on one corner, like maybe a tenth of it. But you could see it. And when you ate it, you went black out. Like, I always had strong edibles. Like, I remember when Kushmart's brownie was death, 200 milligrams. That was killing people. I remember eating the whole thing and taking a flight to Pittsburgh. And I couldn't control my legs on the flight. I mean, it was painful. I couldn't stop moving my legs. It was painful.
You understand that 200 milligrams is still a lot for most people.
Oh, yeah. 200. Bro, the other night I gave an agent, I brought what do you call those? The knockout?
The Cushy Punch?
Cushy Punch. I brought a Cushy Punch. I ate 150 milligrams, and then I took the square, and I probably ate 30, and I gave him 20. Mm-hmm. And I watched him sink into murky waters. He's about 23, and he probably weighs about 170, okay? I gave it to him before the show, before Dean Del Rey went up. At 20 minutes in, he was already eating a chicken sandwich with French fries, and he wasn't stopping. You know when people eating and they're not stopping?
Yeah.
Like they're putting French fry bite, pickle, dip it in ketchup.
Yeah.
And the whole time they're looking at you scared, like he was taming the animal. And then I went on stage and I lost him, and I asked the other agent how they doing. He goes, bro, you got to see him the rest of the night. He was fucking on to something. It was terrible.
Did he take off?
I think, yeah, he left. 20
Probably
milligrams killed people.
Well,
You got to work yourself up to it. There's
So-
no way you could.
I like those Decadose Chiba Chews. That's what I like. That's
180?
Yeah, it's like 175.
180,
Like,
yeah, 180.
That's basically what I like.
That's like a fucking burp for us.
I know it is. It's crazy.
I still remember when I was getting the wrapper, I was getting the 180 for me. I would eat the 180, and I would take the wrapper from the 180, right? Or I would take the 180, take it out, and open the 60, and I would take the 60 out of that, and I'd put the 180 in a 60 sativa and give it to Lee. And this was in the very beginning at the office.
And he would try to convince me that I was going crazy. Like, it's only 60 milligrams. No, it's not.
he was training you.
I guess.
No, I back to the original question. Yeah, I don't know if the drug deal is interesting. Like, I remember buying weed off a guy that had snakes.
What?
He had snakes
Yeah, I don't like that shit.
all over the fucking house. You know, and you come in and he go, be careful. One of my boas are loose. And
That's
they
what I'm
bite
saying.
you. It's a poisonous snake.
Yeah,
And he'd
yeah,
be
yeah.
there. You know, he was one of those.
Wait, he
guys.
would have them running around?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
No, thank you.
That's what
You
I'm
know,
saying.
that type of shit.
Yeah,
You
with
know,
the fucking
you know, it's
dog
like-
and the snake.
If you've ever been on drugs and you watch that drug scene with Boogie Nights, that's 5 a.m. at a coke dealer's house.
Yeah.
You saw that scene, Lee?
No.
You've never seen that scene.
No, I haven't.
You haven't seen Boogie Nights?
No.
This is why. But I'll call him, and him and his girlfriend are watching the worst television or TV you could ever dream of.
You have to
I'm
watch
even scared-
Boogie
I'm
Nights,
even-
dude.
I'm even scared to ask what he watches. And here's the funny thing. We could sit here and talk about Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
And for a year, he'll still go home and have the audacity to watch Black is the New Orange or something like that.
You
Put on Boogie Nights,
you have to watch Boogie Nights.
Chinese scene, whatever the fuck they call it.
Firecracker?
Firecracker scene. You slip daily. You're going to get a list in a week, and you're going to watch those in order,
Yeah.
whether she likes to or not.
You have got to watch Boogie
It's like, this is what you're watching tonight. This is what's on this TV tonight.
that.
If you want to watch something else, go to the other TV or go to your mother's house and watch Telemundo. But this is what we're watching here tonight.
Burt Reynolds in that movie.
Oh, no, they're all fucking fantastic.
Burt Reynolds is the fucking best in that movie. You find it?
I think so. It's called Jesse's Girl.
Yes.
Yeah. But you know,
Everybody's fantastic in this movie. There's not a bad fucking actor in this goddamn movie. The guy, the child pornographer,
oh yeah.
everybody, the roller skate girl. Watch this, Lee.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Philip Seymour Hoffman,
Oh, is
the guy
it
from
wrong?
Spider-Man, Marky Wahlberg.
I can't believe you haven't seen this movie.
No, why would Lee do this? This is.
How am I supposed to know if I've never heard of it?
You've never heard of the movie?
No.
But you got time to watch Orange and the New Black and all that other shit.
Oh my god.
I mean,
So I
but
didn't-
that is exactly when you're saying that's what you miss. That's what I don't miss.
That's the action that I missed for years, that I always was looking for. For years, I missed that type of fucking nonsense where you go back for a second.
Oh
Lee.
jeez, I'm sorry. One second.
But like, that's why for me the store, you don't have to deal with some
This
kind of
is such a good movie.
yeah.
In so many fucking levels because it shows the guy getting picked up as a waiter, getting into porn, blowing up into porn. That scene with the chick and him and there's the chick with the two women in the room. Roller skate
Roller
girl,
girl?
and the white chick that's red hair with freckles on her
Yeah,
tits.
with the oh my
She should have won an Academy Award for that coke scene right there.
what's Julianne Moore.
Julianne Moore. The guy, the second one, 25 great Boogie Night quotes. That guy right there that plays the fucking pervert, the child molester.
yeah.
This is a fucking tremendous movie.
Great
Lee.
movie.
This is your next assignment Friday night.
I'll
There's
watch it. I'll watch it before Friday.
How
It's 3 hours or something.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
It's deep.
But
Here, put it on. It's him.
and I'll tell you, Burt Reynolds is so damn
Oh,
good at
please.
this.
Burt Reynolds is good. He did it.
What the colonel was saying, you know, about my name?
Uh-huh.
I was just wondering if you had any ideas.
I had some thoughts on it, yeah. What about you? What do you think?
Well, my idea was, you know, I just want a name. I want it so it can cut glass, you know, like razor sharp.
Razor sharp, right?
Yeah, well, when I close my eyes, I see this thing. It's like this big sign. And the name is in like bright blue neon lights with like purple outline. And this name is just so bright and so sharp that the sign, it just blows up because the name is just so powerful.
what is going on?
I think
He's a waiter.
Yeah,
Burt Reynolds picks him up. He shows him his dick.
he gets him into porn because he
He gets him
wants.
into
He's always
porn.
wanted to be in porn.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he's a broke kid. He quit
Yeah.
high school. Then this guy's the child pornographer.
Oh my god, Julie.
He goes to jail
Eventually,
eventually.
yeah.
So
But yeah,
like I didn't even consider when I was like even weed. I was always scared that I'd go to the one dealer that was an undercover cop. I didn't even consider that it was craziness. Like I figured they'd want to run a business and get people out of there. They would make you watch them
I used
dance.
to buy coke from two guys.
Oh no!
When the Martel Cartel was original, the Martel Cartel was originally two black dudes. But then they got robbed. There was two black dudes and a white dude. But then somebody robbed them. And I became alliance with them because I gave them a gun. But then the dude I gave the gun to took off. So I got stuck. The black dude bought out the white dude because he didn't want to get shot at no more, Martel. And he didn't want to get tied up anymore. So what he did was the black dude stayed and he got a Russian girlfriend. But to make ends meet, he hired a superhero. You can't write this shit from Hollywood Boulevard.
Hired a superhero?
The Hulk. He's black.
Yeah.
And the Hulk lived in his closet under the stairs. So at night, I go over there to buy coke, and you'd see two little black feet on the bottom. Like he killed somebody, but dragged them neck end first. And I go, bro, who? And then and you
It's
know
the
what?
Hulk.
I still see the Hulk once a year, and he gives me a big hug.
Where you see him?
Walking around Hollywood or at the Comedy Store, he came in one night, gave me a big hug. He stutters and shit. The guy who plays the Hulk on Hollywood Boulevard used to live under his stairs, and I used to look under there. He had like a picture of his mom on the wall, a little light.
You've seen the videos of those guys fighting down there, beating the shit out of each other. Like, though, when those two ladies attacked SpongeBob last year, did you see that? Oh my God!
It ain't right.
No, it ain't right. It ain't right at all.
I saw fucking kids attack Halloween one time in Jersey. I saw my friends get attacked.
Didn't they beat up the guy who plays Superman on Hollywood Boulevard? He like has no teeth now. Like he can't even be Superman anymore.
No, not so Superman. I used to, when I came out here and used to live with Scott out by Dodger Stadium, and my buddy Neil, you know, I used to entertain at children's parties. And so, but when you put that costume on, people will, whatever you're supposed to be, they'll, like when you were a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, they would punch you and kick you.
What?
Yeah, I mean, kids
Oh jeez.
and people think it's funny. So I can only imagine how much shit they get walking around in like a Superman costume on Hollywood Boulevard, where you're bound to run into some assholes.
Well, have you seen
Right.
have you seen the guy on the strip in Vegas who lets people kick him in the nuts for $20?
What
Yeah,
the fuck?
he has
Are
a
you
sign and everything.
He's wearing a cup?
I don't know. I didn't do it. I don't think so.
Wait a second. Wait a second. I would take a swing at somebody for 20
I give
bucks.
him 100 and kick him. I'd
I mean, I'd do that for
find
sure.
out when he's there, and I go on a 12-week fucking kicking spree. I join soccer. I do everything I can to kick as hard as I fucking
Oh my god!
can.
Yeah, there's a bunch of YouTube videos of it.
Really?
Yeah.
And people I would go toe up.
Oh god.
And I'd
He
wear
doesn't wear a cup.
I don't know about that.
I'd wear right there. So it's it seems, and you saw it?
I saw him. I don't want to see anyone get kicked in the balls.
I mean, who's getting kicked in the nuts?
Like a white dude.
Oh, this guy.
Yep.
Fuck your hustle. This is fuck your hustle right here.
So getting kicked in the balls for $20 in Las Vegas.
That
This is fucking
hardly
tremendous.
seems.
In front of Harris, kick me in the nuts for $20. He's got a sign. Our country is getting weirder and weirder.
You count it off. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh my!
And he's high-fiving people. Hey, man, that's what you do for drugs.
Is that your hustle?
Fuck your hustle
What?
right there. Fuck your hustle.
What drugs is that dude doing?
And he has a guy to hold the sign.
I mean, how much?
no
is,
cup, no joke.
How much is he? I mean,
Yeah.
how much does that guy get paid? What kind of
He's
cut?
got to make $3 a day easy. You got to go home, put your balls in ice. And
He's
come
got to
back
have
up
some
to-
kind of harness on. He has to. You can't let a grown man take a running kick like that at your nuts and then just kind of brush it off. Is that a thing?
Maybe he tapes it down or
Let
something.
me ask you something I remember, Lee. I want you to put up
You can't fucking do
The man
that.
that catches bullet with teeth. Wide World of Sports. I want to see what they have on that guy.
But that's the same thing. Like, there's no way that happens. He's got to have the bullet in his mouth already, right?
No, he puts a mouth guard in. It was a fucking weird thing.
Oh, they shoot it into his
It's got
mouth?
to be in black and white. Yeah, this guy was when I was growing up, and he used to do all the Aaron. There was a promoter in New York that did martial arts at the Garden, all day event, kung fu, and how he would close the show is the guy getting shot. They put a glass in front of him so you could see the contact of the bullet going through with a 22, and then he would put a fucking mouthpiece in his mouth
And catch it.
and catch it, and he got shot eventually. Eventually, you're not going to catch everything.
Eventually somebody misses,
There's only
right?
one way to practice that.
Yeah.
There's no
With a
other
bullet.
way to practice that.
Yeah.
You know, it was the 70s, so it could have been bullshit.
10 magicians who died on stage.
Oh, Joey would love that. That was one of the hardest nights I've ever laughed. Is when Steve Simone and Joey had magic done in front of them, and they both
Right, I was there.
left the room.
Are you talking about on stage at,
No, I'm talking about it at dinner.
oh.
Me?
Yeah, at that Christmas party we went to, they had a magician there.
Gabriel's.
Yeah, and you and Steve both like couldn't deal with it.
I don't know about you, man. I've had a couple magician friends. I'm lying to you. I've never really been over crazy about magician.
Yeah.
And then I had a magician friend. And he was out of his mind. Like, he made me look like a fucking door prize. Drug-wise, alcohol-wise, everything-wise. He was just out there, man. He was just out there.
Well, I think you would probably fucking have to be, right?
He was one of the 10 best comics in the 10 best magicians in the world at one time. I mean, he showed me all this shit, him hanging up, and they would throw him in the ocean in a barrel, tied
What?
up with chains, that type of shit,
Oh, he was one of those escape artists?
Yeah, escape, magic, bar magic. He was the real fucking deal. Fuck, I
Dude,
used to
you know what?
rob this magician.
What?
I don't have... You used to rob a magician?
Listen to me. And somebody ratted me out. What's that? What happened to him? You see what I'm saying about this podcast game and about life in Los Angeles? That you'll see somebody every week for 3 years, and then 1 week, poof, they disappear.
Yeah.
Who was the kid that was tweeting us and that he was at all our shows? The white kid. White kid. Then he
Water
started-
boxer?
No. Then he started going to fucking the Late Show at the Comedy Store. He really liked Don Barris.
Oh, Jordan Lee?
Where is he?
I don't know. He was here for a while doing the YouTube stuff.
Isn't that weird how that happens?
And you bump into them a year later,
Yeah.
and you feel bad because they dropped out of your life
Yeah.
at one point.
Yeah.
Dropped out of your life.
Yeah.
And things happen in LA. Things really happen that you get caught up, you meet a new girlfriend, you get a job, and you go to Mexico for 3 months. They call you on Monday, tell you got to be in Mexico on Wednesday. You ain't got time to tell all your friends goodbye. So you being the asshole, you call that person 3 times, and he never returns your calls because he's not even getting the messages. And you're like, fuck. And one day you call him and go, fuck you, you fucking punk. I never liked you anyway. I fucked your sister in the ass.
Yeah.
Then he'll call you a year later and go, dog, what's
Karen.
wrong with you? I was in Mexico. I
Yeah.
couldn't call you back. And you feel like a fucking asshole.
But you know what else happens in this town, too? Sometimes you realize you're like, holy shit, I haven't seen Mark in 3 months. You didn't... He's just gone. He's
Gone.
off the fucking...
It happened.
Yeah.
I told Lee, even with the podcast game, we've been doing it now for 6 years. People come, they go, they drift, they come back. That's our nature. Where I was never like that. Growing up, I never listened to the fucking radio anyway. I just switched between 3 stations. Today, I listen to Sirius. I got Sirius.
Right.
Lithium.
Yeah, lithium. Yeah.
Ozzy's Boneyard, Jim Norton, Jim Florentine, and Studio 54. I got hits from the 70s.
And that's it.
I got hits from the 80s and hits from the 90s or something like
You don't do any of the hip-hop stations? Like 45 or anything like that?
that. Nothing.
See, I've figured out late in life that I am kind of a homebody. Like, I like being at my house. But also, when I go now to a restaurant, I get the same. I'm like an old man. I get the same fucking thing everywhere I go. I'm not going to go. I don't go Once I find something I like on a menu, that's it for the. That's what I order at that place.
You learning something?
For
Lee?
fucking
That's all I do.
ever.
No, you don't.
I don't. Or,
No, you don't.
Try new
When was the
restaurants.
last time you went to the conveyor belt?
Months
You haven't.
ago.
When was the last time you
Yeah, I
went?
try new places,
You went
too.
once. Well, you went once and you never went back. You follow me? So you went to undercut yourself to the best place you could go to for your convenience and for your time, but you never went back anyway. And you've gone to 15 of those restaurants. So number one, you don't build no loyalty nowhere, and the places you do build loyalty in are garbage anyway. You follow what I'm saying to you?
It's hard to build loyalty in.
The other day I walked somewhere, I walked to 7-Eleven, and I see some Mexican chicken. She goes, "Whoa, where you been lately?" I didn't know what she was talking about. I go, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "You haven't come to get your carnita tacos lately." I felt like a man because I built the loyalty over there, and she was right. Where the fuck have I been? I'm trying to lose weight.
But that's one of the top things that you do. You've always done.
No, you don't fucking mingle.
You've always
If somebody
done that.
delivers the goods, I
Yep.
don't give a fuck what you have to offer. I just went home this last weekend. And when I go home, I have 3 or 4 things that need to be done. They need to be done. I have a dear friend, George. I love him. He's my brother. If I ever had a brother, he's one of my brothers. But at every restaurant, he doesn't understand that I want to fucking pick him up. And one day it's going to happen. And I'm going to fucking stab him with a fucking knife. Because there's always a place that's better, but it's 90 miles away. But since he's a jerk off and he likes all that type of, he likes wine and, he wants to, they like that. I keep it basic. My first place off the thing this Thursday was Chan's Dragon Inn. Plain and simple.
Did you know what you were getting on your way there?
On the way there.
Oh, yeah.
And the people who were coming, I know what they like. Because I went there with them before. The one girl who was showing, I used to go there with her. We weren't even dating. But she was such a Chinese fan, and I was such a Chinese fan. We'd run together, and when we'd meet at a house, we'd shower, meet at a house, and we'd go to Chan's and get a pork fried rice and spare ribs, and we'd share it. We were kids.
Yeah.
But that's what you do.
Yeah.
The owner, when he saw me, he hugged me. How many years? And then we told, there was a girl at the table, her father was the baseball coach, Lisa Gallo. And I told Lisa the evolution of driver ed at our school. For some reason, the local Cadillac dealer gave our school 2 Cadillacs, and they put pedals in them. So during your gym class, your junior year, you could start, instead of going to gym 1 day a week, you sign up and you go driving for 1 quarter. For 3 months, you drive. But you got to sign your name on the list at 7:30 in the morning for the same time with the same people.
Right.
So I would go, Josh Wolf, sign up for 9:45, so it's us. Why would you want to go with 3 people you don't know? So me, you, Lee, and fucking Bert Kreischer would sign up. So us 3 would sit in the back, Lee would sit in the front, and then the teacher would sit there and we'd switch. So the teacher who started the program at first was Mr. McGrath, the camel. And he was out of his mind. He was a football coach. He was out of his mind. So at first it started very simple. You got in the car at the high school. He pulled over by Kennedy Boulevard somewhere, and then you switched. Then you drove for 12 minutes. Then Lee drove for 12 minutes. But it always ended up in the Ridgefield Circle. And that was where the last stop was. That's the last place where the last driver would get in. And then a block before the school, he would get in and drive it onto the lot. That was insurance rules. The only problem with the Ridgefield Circle is that it's the home to the best. They got a Dairy Queen there.
Josh already knows where this is going.
And 60 yards from the Dairy Queen is the world's greatest Chinese restaurant in the country, Chan's Dragon Inn. All right, plain and simple.
Yeah.
Working man. We would so it started out slow.
It's a good restaurant.
Come on, Mr. McGrath, bro. Pull over at Dairy Queen while we're switching. Let us get a cone. It's against rules. Come on, Mr. McGrath. What's a fucking cone? What kind of cone you like? What do you want? Vanilla? You know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, we're sitting in the Ridgefield Circle eating the fucking cones. Like, hurry up, guys. We got to get back. And that started like that. That went on for like a week or 2 weeks. But the Chinese restaurant was just down the block. So we all opted, instead of doing the 9:30 to 10:15, we did the 10:16. We did the 11 to 11:45.
Also, get some lunch.
Chan's would open up at 11. So we get there at 10 after 11. And Mr. McGrath, can we go to Ridgefield Circle way this time? Yeah, let's switch it up. And as soon as we switch, let's do Chance Dragon. Boom. Mr. McGrath, we got to talk to you about something.
We already called in the order.
I haven't eaten in about 3 weeks. You mind if we go in there? Let me tell. Oh, ooh, look at this. Ooh. You know I don't take pictures.
Yeah.
Because they're not worth it. Oh, look at my menu on the fucking. Want to hear the menu on JetBlue Mint?
You're
ready?
ready for what you choose to eat?
This is what he takes pictures
This
of
is
people.
what they give you when you sit down.
Yeah.
JetBlue Mint. Let me read you motherfuckers the menu. Let me explain something to you people. I fly like a Puerto Rican, but when I go to New York, it's a 6-hour flight. I save my JetBlue points, and I get one way I pay for and the other way I get for free. That's the only way I can do this flight. Welcome. The first thing they open up with is a white peach and raspberry smoothie.
Huh, how was it?
How do you think? Especially when you've had 3 stars, and a fucking...
You got,
Then they give you fresh fruit, orange, kiwi, and pomegranate.
Hell yeah.
Pomegranate, they pick it out already, so you just eat one by one.
One granite at a time.
And then they gave you charred carrot salad. My wife wasn't there, you know what I'm saying? Then corn chowder with bacon and smoked paprika oil. Little bits of bacon and fucking corn chowder.
Did they give this to you at like 6 a.m.?
About 6:35. Then you ready for
Wait,
this
this
one?
was breakfast?
This was breakfast. This was the first serving. You ready for this one, Lee? You ready? Coconut pancakes with mango, pineapple, and ginger lime made syrup.
You had an appetizer for breakfast?
That's what they give you, dishes, little
my
dishes, and you
God.
sample all of them. And then they also gave you goat cheese with tomato omelet. I gave that to the fat fuck next to me.
There's no goat cheese for Uncle Joe?
Then I had a double espresso twice to kick the fucking mule going on the plane because I was too high.
Oh my God.
And then they brought me a Cool House sorbet from Los Angeles, California. But she brought me a little Weight Watcher spoon, like a little Coke dealer spoon.
Yeah.
I told her later, I go, listen, take this back. Give me the real spoon. I'll
Yeah.
be here for fucking 10 years. I'll be on the road to Hong Kong, by the way. They fucking get me here.
I hate those little spoons. You know what else I hate? Those, you ever eat crawfish? Ever eat crawfish?
Yeah.
I can't, I don't understand it. Because
It's too much fighting
too much
for a
fighting
1 inch
for
of fucking...
nothing.
No.
For fucking
Give me the
nothing.
lobster tail or the crab leg.
Yeah,
and
can't
that's
do it. There's too much work, and there's no... You can eat a pile of those fucking
To do
things.
this, and that's it. To suck the
Nothing.
blood out. No.
No,
I like
I'm
crawfish. I'm not putting nobody down. I've had plenty of buckets.
Yeah, I know.
In Houston, Texas, the best place to get them ever.
And
But
it
guess what?
tastes great.
It tastes great,
But-
you know what? Let's fight the lobster. Let's go for the. You
let's
give
go
me
for
the
the big meat.
You give me the micro. Give me the macro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got a micro cat at the house. I want the macro. I want the fucking line.
Yeah, it's not that they don't taste good. It's just the returns are not... it's too much work. It's way too much work.
I can't do the shrimp, like the shrimp cocktails that they have the legs on them still. I don't like that. I like it peeled.
You can just take...
Lee, let me ask you something. When somebody gives me shrimp, I don't give a fuck if I get the eyeballs. Okay, you know why? Because somewhere there's a fucking person eating a fucking sand dog. So, if you go to, there's a place in North Bergen, bro, that I don't fuck with too much because I don't have the money to go in there. Mm-hmm. But my friends that have money took me in there. And when they give you shrimp, Lee, they're like 9-inch shrimp. Because 3 inches is the head with the eyes. It's the real shrimp.
I'm never.
And you just take the thing off. And they crunch it up for
Yeah.
you.
Nope.
I got to talk to you guys about something that's... I guarantee people who turn this podcast on want to listen to our opinion on it, what we thought. Because I kidnapped the motherfucker and put him in the trunk of a car, but my face never made it to the cover of a newspaper. And when I was in New York Saturday, and I walked around there, and I saw every fucking newspaper with Louis C.K.'s picture on it, it fucking hit home. Like, it didn't hit home for me. I just said to myself, Jesus Christ, I put somebody in the trunk of the car, and I made it to page like 8. It was just a little blurb under the fucking car dealer ad, you know?
It's different. It's a different time. And Louis, like... was at the top of the pyramid, you know what I mean?
I mean, all these allegations every fucking day. You get a new allegation. And you know what, man? The thing that bothers a guy like me is people could allege shit every fucking day, but in today's world, it ruins your career. You know, when somebody comes to me and says Lee took their dick out, or Lee, I'm going to check it out before I open my mouth. I mean, I'm going to fucking check it out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. But Louis admitted.
recheck it out. Right. He admitted it, and then, you know, there's a big thing. But it's just not Louis. It's just everything. And now Richard Dreyfuss got accused of something.
I saw that.
And this guy got
The
accused
president,
of
the first Bush, is getting accused all the time now.
And yeah, he got accused again today.
Yeah.
And what do you call it? Who else got accused today? Did you say Richard Dreyfuss? Who?
It wasn't today, but
No,
the guy from Star Trek.
Yeah, George Takei. And
That's
also
fucking
Dustin
crazy.
Hoffman too.
That's fucking crazy, George Takei.
But
Now, what's the situation in George Takei's?
It's like a male model or something.
I guess there's something that maybe.
Now, you got to remember something. Remember when that movie Liberace came on HBO?
Yeah.
I went somewhere. Like, that movie really fucked with me a little bit because I really knew the truth. I looked at it for what it was. You know, Liberace, first of all, for people who, I don't want you to look at this time in Hollywood as, oh my God, what's going on in Hollywood? Listen, they passed Marilyn Monroe around like a fucking dummy doll, okay? And many others of those women they passed around. They just passed around Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe was the biggest disgrace in American history. She was fucking the president, a gangster, and God knows who else along the way. God knows who else along the way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, Sinatra, what do you think he did to women? He told that one lady to get a hanger when she was pregnant.
It's
He
crazy.
threw her out of the house and said, go get a fucking hanger.
Yeah.
I didn't get you pregnant. You know, statements like that, shit like that, you know. I believe in fucking, you know, I've always been on the other side of the coin. And sometimes it's been me. And sometimes you're accused just for being who you are.
Yep. Yep.
You know, and that's what. Then there's another tactic to this that bothers me. That really fucking bothers me. Because people in this room will attest to this. We change every 5 years.
Oh yeah.
Our views change. We get smarter. We get wiser. You know, you don't do the dumb shit you used to do. Lee, you're a nice kid. Are you a different person than you were 5 years ago?
100%.
In which way? In which ways are you a better person now than you were 5 years ago?
I just think when you're, at least for me, you're in such a bubble in high school and college that you don't really realize. You there's a difference between being polite and acting like a good person. And there's still some things that I could do better. I'm not gonna lie, but I think that you learn through just dealing with people how to act, and you see how other people act. You're like, oh, I didn't like when someone did that.
But you still. Here's the thing: you can change, but if you did something 10, 15, 20 years ago, there still can be consequences for that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I understand that people change, but that can't completely exonerate you for things that you might have done in your past that
look at
people just weren't brave enough to say anything
Look
about.
at this judge right now who's something like 70, and they're saying 40 years ago he dated kids in high school. And even in the article, if you read the article, it said like the mom told the daughter, "Oh, I think you're the luckiest girl in the world to date Roy Moore," and she was 14. So I can
Yeah.
He might argue, and the thing is, he's denying it, but he might argue like, listen, it wasn't that big of a deal back then, or I don't know, maybe it was. I don't know with that one, but I think you're right. I think if you,
I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying that you can't change. Everybody changes.
but it
I'm
doesn't
just
take
saying,
away what you've done.
yeah, just because you change, because whatever you did, if you did it, whatever you did, changed somebody else for the worse.
Right, and
So there has to be some sort of repercussion for that, no matter how long ago it was. Like, if you did something to somebody that changed their life for the worse, that fucked them up, and continues to do that, then no matter how long it is, you still got to pay for that shit.
Right. And that was what I took away from the Louis thing so far is like he even said in his apology, whatever you think of it, he didn't realize from the like their point of view, and I think that's kind of hard to do, is take the other person's point of view. And I like even with him when he says, "Oh, I never touched anybody who I always asked," it's still terrible to imagine being 21 and you don't want to say no. Mm-hmm. You're just out here. All you want to do is get a job. You don't know if you're gonna get fired for saying no. So it must be scary.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure it's really scary, and that's why I'm not saying that. Like, I understand why some people wouldn't come out. I understand why it takes people a long time to come out. Listen. Are you 100%? I've been propositioned by men and women. Like it for sure happens, for sure, and it's terrible. And I think that the more that people come out, I think it'll just scare the fuck out of people into not because there was no repercussions before. Nobody was saying shit.
But on the other side of that coin, and both of you are married, but maybe you have single friends. I don't know. In this day and age, if you were going to date somebody now in the industry, would you have them sign something? Would you have them like if you were going to hook up with a girl on the road? Would you have them sign like it just? That terrifies me.
I don't know what you mean. Like
just to be like, yeah, like this is legit. Like I'm not forcing you into this. Or like, just I don't know.
I'm in shock about the whole thing. I'm in shock about allegations bother the fuck out of me. I want proof.
Mm-hmm.
I come from a proof
I'm
school.
I'm with you.
It's you and I in a room. I mean, the Louis thing happened in 2002. Who knew where his sickness was? Listen, you just don't stand in front of a door, take your shirt and your pants off, and take your dick out and bang it out in front of him.
By the way, that sounds terrible.
And that's two women in a room, two witnesses.
Yeah.
The sickness was at the highest level of all time. What was he thinking was going to happen? I mean, my heart goes out to him. I'm not saying nothing bad about Louis. What I'm saying is I'm looking at it from that perspective. It came out a little bit after that, and there was more allegations. He jerked off on the phone with people, which I've done 1,000 times myself. You know what I'm saying? Some girl calls you, she tells you she's going to go in the shower, and you tell her, really, whatever. Next thing you know, you got your dick in your hand, and you're breathing heavy for 2 minutes. Who the fuck knows? I mean, all these things, we all do them, and they're simple, and we don't think we're doing something. But it did create consequences. The women, how'd they feel and all that shit. I'm not going into the politics of all that. I'm just going into the politics how this ends you and how you have to bounce back in a certain way.
Well, I don't think it should have to end him, though. That's the thing.
Well, you said if he does a show at the Comedy Store tomorrow night, he'll sell it.
If they said Louis is going to be in the main room tomorrow, would he sell all the tickets? He would sell all the tickets. Of course he would.
And tell his side of the story.
Whatever.
See, this is what I would do. I would wait 6 months.
Yeah.
And those 6 months write something and go on Broadway and tell my side of the story in the fucking off Broadway theater.
What I mean is I think this is a fucking catastrophic thing for sure. And I can't imagine what he's going through. But
his kids.
But he also put other people through shit. So
I'm not.
So, but what I mean is,
now, when was the last time he jerked off or did anything in public? In all the articles, what was the last around? There was something about Courtney Cox. They were producing a show and they got a report.
Rebecca Corey.
But I think it's a little different with him because he's admitted to it. He's not saying
that's what I'm saying.
Well, no, I'm happy he admitted to it. Thank God.
But what I mean is, I don't think this ends his career. I really don't think it ends his career. He could sell out wherever tomorrow night, even if he just was going on stage to do stand up.
But do you think it would end someone's career maybe at your guys' level of comedy? Because he's a star. He was a star, is a star.
Yeah, I think it'll affect his career for the worse, obviously. But
Have you ever had fake allegations against you, Lee? Not a good fucking feeling, but listen to this, man. And this is why I was laughing. I went to eat Chinese food with the girls and my buddy. And then from there, I went to my 7th grade teacher's bar. And I hooked up with kids I went to the 6th grade with. Sergio Neri and fucking this kid, Dean Laprete. Dean Laprete was with me when I cut my thumb. This is when I was cutting the wiffle ball bat to put the socks in it and rocks to make it heavy to hit home runs and shit. He was with me. There was this other chick there. A bunch of us were there just talking shit. I forget what my fucking point was. What are we talking about?
You were talking about
Allegations.
allegations.
And then my buddy came over and he goes, you know,
Stenographer over
your
here.
buddy's on the other side. I go, I didn't know that. So I went over and gave my 2 great friends hugs. The Undertaker, the one that owns he's an assemblyman.
Yeah.
The freeholder, and I gave my buddy Devo a big hug. I looked at this other guy, and I go, oh, shit. And he got up and gave me a big fucking hug. And, you know, I didn't remember his name. You know what I'm saying? You know those people that you're friends with? And in 93, he was like the big shot. And he always used to know I used to go into the city. He kept me alive, that kid, in those days. That's when I was in real financial trouble. And he was a big shot that he didn't want nobody to know he was as much as a fiend as I was in those days. And he could not go into New York City. He couldn't do any of those things. But he knew I knew how to keep my mouth shut. So he would come over and go, get me $400 worth and get $200 for yourself. So he'd give me $200 cash to get myself. That was $6 grand. I never said a word to nobody. That dude had a badass career, and he ended it with a DUI.
Doing what?
Got fucked up. DUI ended everything for him. Now he became something else, and so as soon as he saw me,
You ever got a DUI?
no, knock on
Me
wood.
neither.
No, I won't drink and get behind the wheel.
No, you never did that, huh?
No, I gave him a big hug, and we hugged, and he goes, listen, before you leave, do me a favor. He goes, one day I walked past the fire station by my house, and I heard your voice laughing. I went in, I go, what are you listening to? And the guy's like, he's fucking crazy. He's from Jersey somewhere. And he goes, do me a favor. If you take a picture of me and mean the world to me. I go, do me a favor. I know you're 20 years. Let me hang out for a while, and then we'll take a picture. Because if I take a picture of you, everybody else will see it. And then I'm not going to be able to sit here.
Right.
This is my hometown bar. I come here once a year. They're in the back eating nachos and French fries and shit. So finally, my buddy comes on and he goes, do me a favor. Go take a picture with the fucking guy. His feelings are hurt. I go, it's not that I don't like him. It's that if I take a picture with him. So I went over and I go, you still got high, motherfucker? You still smoke weed? And he goes, yeah. Fuck you. I don't want your picture. I go, come on, let's go smoke a joint. And I grabbed him by the arm and I go, I explained to you that if I take a picture, there's a bunch of kids in there.
Yeah.
They're all going to come over. Let me just relax. He goes, I get it. And we started talking. And we smoked a joint. And I go, how crazy were we when we were kids? And he goes, I know. I looked at you. And he goes, remember my wife? I'm not married to her no more. I go, no, how could you be? I go, you used to stay out 3 days on a fucking road back then. He was like a big shot, man. And it was just nice talking to him. He goes, hey, I got to tell you something. I don't know if you know this. He goes, what's his name confessed to robbing that house. And I go, what are you talking about? He goes, you know that house I took you to, Lee, that you taped in North Bergen?
Right.
I said that was the final straw, like when they accused me of robbing.
Yeah.
And that was the end. Now people really didn't know. My friends, I went to them and said, listen, I tell you what I robbed, right? Yeah, I give you a piece of the action.
Yeah.
I never robbed the house. And they're like, who could have done it? And I knew exactly who it was and how it went down. And they even set me up. She was a step ahead of me and I didn't see it. But I never said nothing. It didn't matter. You know what? If I would have tried to fight it, I had all my fingers. At that time, I couldn't.
You had to get out of that.
At that time, I couldn't get myself out of anything. I was just a piece of shit. I was robbing everybody, so I had no leg to stand on. But I always knew in my heart, I didn't rob that house. Well, guess what? That kid got busted, and he wanted information, and that's one of the things he told me. He was involved in an insurance scam, and he broke into that house, and my friend found out 2 days later because he knows cops. And they were like, that whole time he blamed it on Coco. He goes, I just wanted to tell you. I got my other two friends out, and I go, When I told you right after it happened, look at the confirmation. He goes, yeah, he gave it up. They're looking at it as an insurance scam from 30 years ago now. So that accusation always makes me feel like I fucking hate accusations, man. But but on the other hand, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
So if I walk that line, I'm not going to sit here and believe one thing and believe another one. It's interesting because the last 2 days on Twitter, every 4 Twitters is about somebody's making a remark about what's going to come out or something.
But there's all that stuff with Corey Feldman and Corey Haim.
That was crazy on The View.
Shit. And with Alyssa Milano, was that today or yesterday?
Who bothered her?
No, but then people were accusing her of turning a blind eye to whatever happened to Corey Haim or Corey Feldman because she hung around them back then. She was a kid too. Like she was what, 15 or 16 also. That's the tough thing to
if you look
lay on somebody.
Listen, I'm not a child psychology, neither are you. You've seen 3 kids grow. Mm-hmm. You have a little bit more knowledge than I do. I was a kid on the street, so I look at faces and I know what they feel. If you don't look at Corey
Feldman
and you can't tell that he was like the heir to Marilyn Monroe from the drugs. They just abused him.
Yeah.
But guess what? He wanted to be abused. He let them abuse him. That was the only way he could be accepted.
Well,
take your clothes off, dance with the boys. You want to stay at the party? He's got a big movie coming out in September with Brad Pitt. Stick around, dance with the boys.
I mean, he didn't want to. He was a kid.
He was what do you think I'm saying to you, man? They take these kids, you could tell. I know when you see a kid and they've been beat up.
Yeah, though
I was locked up. You ever see a kid when they've been beat up? You don't need to see the scars.
No.
You see the beating on their face.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a mental a beating with a stick. It could be a mental beating. He's gone through hell. I had it on my face for years. I know exactly what it looks like and what it fucking feels like, man. So
Corey Haim, look, because that was the accusation.
I wasn't out there like Corey Haim, though.
No, the accusation was that wasn't it that Charlie Sheen?
I don't know.
The accusation was something like that Charlie Sheen had sex with Corey Haim was the accusation. That was the accusation that somebody leveled out there. Yeah, man. That on the set of Bully. Bully? Is that the name of the movie, I think? Bully? On the set of Bully. That was the accusation. Yeah, they're flying all over the place. You didn't hear about that one?
No.
Yeah, they're flying all over.
It just seems, but Corey Haim, like I said, he just seems like a kid that he went down the wrong street at the wrong time, and he wasn't mentally prepared. And between the drugs and the life, remember, you ever see Less Than Zero?
Yeah.
I know you didn't see Less Than Zero. It's one of Robert Downey Jr.'s best fucking movies.
Oh, so good.
Best movies. Fuck you with Iron Man. Fuck your mother up the ass, you fucking moron. I'm talking about pound for pound acting. In that movie, he was brilliant. And did you see how they treated him in that movie?
Oh, yeah.
He would just do coke, and the guy would bring him to parties, and he'd blow guys and fuck guys. Lee, come on. I'll give you all the coke you want. Here you go. Here you go. Let's go to a party. There's going to be some guys there I want you to meet. They're very important. And they're going to have a big bag of coke, too. So you're going to go in the room with them and talk, and they're going to rub your thigh, and there you are sucking their dick, and then he would take them, give them more coke. What was his name in that movie? I forget.
I don't remember. That was I might go back and watch that movie.
Oh, no. It was on about a month ago at 2, and I taped it and watched it the next day. And he was brilliant.
I might have to go back and watch that movie.
He dies, shit. I mean, it was just brilliant. He was a great drug addict. The drool coming out of the side of his mouth.
He was a great drug addict because he was
living it. He was living it at the time. It was, but when I look at that, I saw that.
Yeah.
You don't think I saw that in my circles? When I lived in San Francisco, I saw it all the time.
When did you live in San Francisco?
85. And when I lived in Aspen, I saw it all the time. Hey, man, you're a waiter.
Yeah.
This Marky Wahlberg story. you write that from something you saw or heard, but that's how quick it happens.
Oh, the Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights is like Scarface for porn, Lee. It's a kid that works in the valley. Guy comes in one night. He fucks a waitress that tells him that he's got a big dick.
Mm-hmm.
And, he sees him, and the rest is history.
Then you saw that scene in the hot tub where he picks his porn name,
Right.
and then
He becomes, he wins the newcomer of the year.
he starts doing
He
drugs.
starts doing drugs, and he's gone. And I see me in 80, right before I got arrested, that was me. From 87 to right to the point I got arrested, 86 to 87 and a half, that was me, Marky Wahlberg. Gone. Talking to myself.
Yeah, the John C. Reilly, the entire cast. But John C. Reilly to me goes between comedy and serious better than anybody. He did it. He does it in the movie, but he slips in between
When
comedy.
they fucking sing, and
Feel
they
the Heat?
Feel the Heat, and they think they really have a song.
Come on.
And they got to bring the tapes to the album guy. Those are two gone, coked up guys with a dream of $60,000
Yeah.
to get a kilo of coke. You see it. That's how good of the acting it is.
Feel the
Because
Heat?
I've been there.
You two Feel the Heat. Feel the Heat. That's one of the best scenes in the movie for sure. Where they're in the recording studio.
He's got the headband on like the guy from Loverboy.
And he's got his hands up to the headphones. It's pretty crazy, and he's terrible. And they're giving him the
Oh, the other guy,
Yeah.
Riley, is like fucking playing it like he's Jimmy Page, the guitar and shit. It's just a coked up scene. It's like Goodfellas when he comes home and he's looking for the
yeah.
coke, and they both start crying, and she's on her hands and knees. They're two junkies, they're just two junkies. I've been there. It's a fucking horrible situation. When I had that, my ex-wife, when I had that $60,000 debt in Aspen, we were looking at each other. Towards the end, we had a scene like that where we just broke down. She felt bad. I wasn't coming home at night. I would just go to Josh. I would go to your house and go, Josh, what's it going to take for you to leave? What? I got a quarter ounce of coke and I don't want nobody around.
that was your move.
What is it going to take, Lee, for you to give me your apartment tonight? Because I was paranoid to be in mine. So I thought they were watching me. So I come to you in the daytime and go, Lee, I'm going to give you $200 tonight. I'll bring a case of beer over to your house. We're going to switch cars. I'm going to pull into your house with my car. You're going to open up the garage, and you're going to leave with my car and go to the hotel over there on Lancashire and keep him there all night. And I'm going to go to your house and do blow. And let me tell you something, within an hour, I'd be calling you, going, come over here and get me. The cops are here. Save me. Paranoia comes with you to go. It's not just stays at the house.
I am so glad. I did coke a bunch, mostly with you. I never liked it. I never really liked it. There was a couple times I can remember having fun, but I'm so glad I never really liked it. And I did that meth just that once. Hated that.
You're doing Boise?
No, I did it by accident. I thought it was coke.
Oh, I did it in Boise. I did it in Boise, Bakersfield. Sometimes I did it and I hoped it was coke. I knew what I was getting myself into. Now, what's next for Louis C.K.? I mean, the agency got rid of him. It's like Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey's not getting out of this one. But what happens to these guys?
They're reshooting a movie that's coming out in
Did you see
December. with
that?
Kevin
I did see
Spacey.
that on the plane.
But here's what happens, I think, with Louis C.K. I think he goes away for a little while. I think he probably ends up in some sort of therapy / rehab thing that he puts himself in. I think he comes out without representation. I think while he's in rehab, he writes whatever it is, a new hour, whether it's more, half theater, half comedy, or full comedy. But I think he'll come out, and even if he has to just release it on YouTube. Because the best thing about being a comic is that you can never really fire us. Do you know what I mean? That's the difference with our job than anybody else's. Like, fuck it. So you're not going to pay me. I'm still going to go get on stage. He could sell, I'm telling you, when he gets out of jail, not out of jail, but when he gets out of rehab or wherever he puts himself, and if there are fans of his that'll come see him.
The only problem is like now with how people can I don't know what the word is, but gather the storm. They could like if like let's say a random comedy club wanted to put him up, there might be people online saying let's boycott them, let's get them their lease canceled. Like people will go that far now, and so he might have trouble getting somewhere.
I think the more that happens, the more support he would garner. I really do. I think there are a bunch of people who are pretty fed up with that. Like whatever his, I used to have this conversation when it came to Mike Vick. Whatever you thought of his crime or punishment, Vic got what he got. He went to jail. He came out. He gets to start over. You can't still make him pay for his crime. So Louis is going to pay however he's going to pay. And then with whatever happens to him, I don't know if there'll be lawsuits. I don't know if it'll just be in the fact that he'll never be, who knows? Who knows what the pay is? But then he still gets to try to make a living doing what he does. That I don't think we should ever take that away from people. Do you know what I mean? Like, I still think you should be able to do whatever it is that you do. Now, you may have to do it at a much smaller scale, or you may not succeed at it. But I don't think we take people's ability away to do it. You know what I'm saying?
He might have to start a podcast.
Oh, yeah, maybe he will.
Keep this thought. Where's Tony Bennett?
I want to be around.
I want to give a shout out to Sherry and her son. Beautiful people came to the show in New York. Trey Roberts, Benjamin Paul, Jacob Lindbergh, Anthony Johnson holding it up in Sacktown, Jabish over in Pittsburgh, The Hidden Choice, Alejandro OXSC, Sal Vasco, Robert McGee, and my man Ben Baraki Ski, or whatever the fuck your name is. Uncle Joey loves you motherfuckers till they cocksuckers. I'm always good at like I came back from the other one you said, the Mike Vick one.
Yeah.
I always believed that even before I got locked up. Guy does something wrong, he does his time, he comes out, he gets a benefit of the doubt in my eyes. If he fucks up again, I was wrong. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
I've always been one of those guys.
Agree.
That's pointing. I got locked up, and I thought, when I got in trouble, I thought a lot about running. I thought a lot of things, and I thought about what I believed, and I was like, you know what? I do my fucking time. I come out. Who the fuck knows? I could always sell.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I could fucking do this or that, but I could always sell, and you'll figure it out. And I figured it out, but it wasn't. I kidnapped somebody, I was a thief, that type of stuff. But there was no more. Bro, one time I got accused twice. One time was a forced accused. It really wasn't accused if you really look at it. But one time I got accused of fucking sexual shit. And it killed me. And the people wouldn't tell me that I got accused.
When was this?
It had to be 20 years ago. 25 years ago. I was doing comedy. And that was at my friend, Chrissy Fish and fucking his brother, God rest his soul. I can't fucking think of his name now. Jesus Christ. Anyway, he was married to this chick. He was about 30, but he was married to a chick that was like 50. Mm-hmm. And they were both heroin junkies, Who was the plumber I used to hang out with? Jesus Christ, they used to take me and Stinky into the city, and he'd get heroin and we'd get pills. Emil Bonehead, the legend of Bonehead. So Bonehead was married to an older chick, and I was at their parents' house. I was tight with Bonehead's parents. Mm-hmm. I grew up with Bonehead's parents. I've been hanging out with Bonehead since 80. This is 97. I did time. I went back. I was brothers with all three kids. I was always one of those guys. I just didn't hang out with Josh. I hung out with Josh, I hung out with Jonathan, I hung out with fucking the other fucking one, Gary, I don't know. So you hang out with I hung out with all three brothers. And I had the one brother and me got pills together and giggled. The other brother and me, the least one that I liked, he always had good coke, and I always knew how to dump jewelry on him and shit. And the other brother I grew up with, so they knew everything about me. And I'm in the pool, and it's Bonehead. Me, Bonehead are in the pool. Chris Fish, his son, and Bonehead's stepdaughter and stepson. Or maybe the stepson wasn't there, but the stepdaughter was there. You know, we're all in there. You know, like when you pick up a kid and throw him? Like you throw him to somebody else.
Yeah.
Like they threw her at me. She must have been like 14 or 15. And I grabbed her under her armpits and I threw her back. And I did that like 2 or 3 times. Good to go. We got out of the pool. We ate. We sat around. And that's it. 2 days later, I left. I come back 9 months later to do Rascals or something. And again, I didn't hear nothing again. But I hadn't heard from Bonehead. Bonehead had stopped calling me. He lived in Vegas at the time. And then one day, Chris told me, he goes, bro, I don't mean to say this to you. He goes, you know how much I believed him? This much. He goes, I've gone up in, because Bonehead lived with them, with the 2 kids downstairs for a few years. So they had caused all types of problems, these kids. So he goes, when you left that time, she said you touched her. And I was like, who are you talking about? And he goes, the girl. And I go, first off, come on.
No.
I was in front of 8 guys.
Yeah.
He goes, that's what I said.
Yeah.
He goes, that's the first thing I said. How come she didn't say nothing? Her stepfather was right in the pool with him.
And somebody would have seen something.
Yeah, but I was also scared of. I always thought that if I stayed in Boulder, my wife would say something about the kid. Something would have gone wrong that way. And then when I was an open mic, I got banned from the Comedy Works one time because the chick jumped on me, and when I grabbed her ass, but it wasn't like I grabbed and squeezed them. That's where my hands landed. I was tight with the girl. A week later, I get banned for life. But now I'm back at the Comedy Works because it was nothing. It really was nothing.
I remember when you were banned.
Yeah, it was really nothing. So I've never been like a deviant like that. Yeah, you bump into freaks, and you know what time it is. You know they want to drink some juice. You know that they're running out of time. They're like a vampire. They need to drink that juice until today's your lucky number. You ever go to the supermarket and pull 8, and you gotta wait for 20 minutes? Nah, today you pull 8, and it's your lucky number. It's number 8. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God. I remember. Oh my God.
I just feel I can't. I listen. If you did something to me, and I got the proof, whatever.
Yeah.
But for me to come out now and go, hey, 32 years ago you did this. Listen, do me a favor. Go fuck yourself. And if I did do it, listen. I apologize and I'm sorry. That was a long fucking time ago. And things happen. And what are you gonna do?
That dude. Okay, so that dude who. The dude who touched the 14-year-old or whatever the fuck happened. Say he touched a 14-year-old 30 years ago. Then nothing?
Oh.
So say a dude...
Now, I didn't know anything about this. See, I don't like politics. So I saw the name on CNN and sexual misconduct. Is that what it was?
Yeah, you know... And look, I try not to watch the news either because who the fuck knows what... But the accusation is... that when he was in his 30s, he dated teenagers. And then in particular, one girl was 14, I guess. But there's like, did you see that he signed her yearbook?
No.
He signed her as a grown man. He signed
That's not good.
her yearbook. Yeah, and he was like, I don't know her. And they were like, yo, motherfucker, you signed the yearbook.
They said he would go like walking around malls to like when he was bored. That's what he said he was doing. But
there's a couple like articles that just say his town, people in his town, it was just well known that he dated teenagers.
Now, what if you ask somebody to eat their pussy? Is that sexual misconduct? Like if you say to somebody, let me ask you a question, you're looking really good today. What if you let me lick that monkey? And they're like,
Dude,
you know what,
I
Joe?
think it is.
I think it is. I think one of the funniest things I've ever heard anyone say on stage was you, and it might be considered in today's day and age maybe sexual misconduct. We were at the fucking Ha Ha Cafe, and there were maybe 7 people there, 8, but 2 of them were 2 Asian girls sitting up front.
Poor girls.
and you get on stage and your fist is just pumping, and you're like, you do like 2 jokes, and you go, "Oh hey, China," and then you go, "Look at you two. You make me want to go home and play Karate Kid with myself." And you were like, "I would eat your pussy with chopsticks." You went in on the chopstick roll, and I was like, "That's like the funniest." They were howling laughing, by the way, but you couldn't do that right now.
The girls.
Yeah.
No, listen. People go to a comedy show.
Yeah.
You got two. Listen, if you go to a comedy show and you're showing excessive cleavage, there's cleavage that is appropriate. There's a little over appropriate, which you look at and go, "That's a pretty dress." You know what I'm saying? But then there's cleavage where it's to the line of the areola, whatever the fuck that is.
Areola.
Look at it. It's like fucking 2 geniuses.
What'd you call it? A Ray Liotta?
So you're sitting in the front row, you and your girlfriend. You
Yeah.
both have the same blouse on.
Yeah.
In fact, one of you has a mini skirt, and you got heels, and the mini skirt barely covers your pussy.
Okay.
If you address them, they're not going to get mad at you. That's the reason why they got dialed up. But at the same time, if you don't address them, they might get a little pissed off at you. During picture time, they'll come up to you and say, "I sat in the front row and you didn't say nothing about me one time." It's so fucking
Listen,
weird.
if someone is wearing a skirt that doesn't cover their pussy, I'm going to go ahead and assume that they want me to look at that. That is an on-purpose thing. Like, you don't leave your pussy out unless you want someone to look at it.
But on the same tone, that's why I attacked both those chinas. If there's 2 chinas up in the front row, and they're 2 girls that just came off the boat from Japan, they got the glasses on.
They did have the glasses on.
No, they weren't that Japanese. I remember the one girl was like Philippine, and the one girl was Mexican with Chinese eyes. So that's why I was torn.
Do you remember that night?
I remember it now. They were on the couch in the front row, and they had a guy behind them, and they were both really hot. It's 11 o'clock at night.
Dude, they were howling laughing.
Because you know what's on your mind. I'm telling you what's on your mind. These are 2 beautiful girls that work hard all week. Why are they out at 11 o'clock at night on Lancashire? There's only one reason why, and none of you people in this room are seeing it. I know what they're both here for, because I'm 50. I have not a chance with these girls. Even with a pound of blow and at $500,000, these girls wouldn't give it up. They're looking for a hot young guy to come in, drink them up, and you know what? These 2 girls are probably 2-on-1 here if you played your cards right. If you invite them over to your house to press the button, whatever they want to do. I love opera. You do? Well, I got a library of opera. You ain't got shit. But you're going to go home, and while they're pissing, you're going to Google opera, and you're going to take a quick lesson on Pavarotti real quick. He was born in Milano in 1648.
Turn on the opera station.
And turn the opera station, and next thing you know, they start kissing each other. You never know. You never know. But they're not waiting for a fucking chubby fat fuck who's 50 years old. They're not waiting for that. So you get away with shit on stage.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to keep saying what I'm saying.
But you always...
You have to keep saying what you're saying and how you say it and how you believe. Every time I've tried to go away from that, I've backfired. I've turned it into a certain art now after 30 years. I've been doing this all my life. I've been cursing and talking the way I've been talking all my life.
Yeah.
And the people I hang out with, they talk the way because I noticed it. And guess what? They're not rapist. They're not racist.
No.
They're not anything. But they say crazy fucking shit too.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, you should be able to say crazy shit. That's not like...
No, you shouldn't.
Yes, you should,
you should be able to crazy shit if you could back it with your character and with your belief in what you're saying. But you ever see a comic that goes upstairs, goes on stage and just be...
Yeah, but that's complete. I use you as this example every time I talk to people about this. When they talk about being dirty on stage, and I say it doesn't matter how dirty you are; it matters where it comes from. Like, you're dirty on stage, but it's your complete truth. And because it's your complete truth, sure, I'm assuming you've offended some people before, but because it's your complete truth, people accept it. But you can tell when people get on stage and are being dirty just to be dirty. And then it comes across...
It's like the fake stand-up.
Yeah. Comes across as dirty.
Nothing worse on stage than a fake stand-up.
Oh, no.
Oh,
There's only one stand-up.
Oh, my God. Fake stand-hopes.
Yeah.
And they're everywhere. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. Especially like in cliquey towns. They're legion of fake stand-ups.
Dude, you know, it took me a long time to figure out what I did on stage. And I would tell you, if I'm being honest, it just happened in the last 3 or 4 years. 3 years, maybe.
Now, you've been doing comedy since I know you, 22 years.
Yep. But I'm telling you right now.
You had to get somewhere with it by this
Yeah.
Like 22 years, you get to this certain, you know.
But I figured out. Okay, so I think I've always done it, but I just figured out what it was. So I might as well tell people when I get on stage, hey, I hope you didn't come here to learn anything tonight, because that's not what my show is. People like one of my favorite thing people say to me is, you're not angry up there, like you're not mad. You don't seem like a pissed off comic. My shows are kind of fun. Like, that's what I do. That's kind of what my energy's always been. But I used to fight it and try to be like, oh, I need to be a little darker here, or that's not my thing. And so my shows have turned into, I want people to, the stories are stupid, man. They're stupid stories about my kids or about me or about, taking mushrooms at Coachella last year, whatever it is, the story is. Passing out on Ventura Boulevard a couple months ago, whatever.
Where's the oxygen tank?
Yeah, right?
Where is it?
It's back at the house.
We don't use it no more?
No.
Migraines are gone, cocksucker.
But I'm just saying, like,
you Jews always got you got those 90-day Almates. Then you get the check, and that's it.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Old Jews keep the fort. You got to keep the thing consistent.
I got the hand one.
No, you got to keep the tube and walk with it, and then put the neck brace on for fucking. That's Jewish jewelry. It's getting close to Hanukkah. You got to bust it out. You know what I'm saying?
I got to tell you, I made someone super nervous when I took that fucking hand one out on the plane, because I needed, but it was like I needed a quick little hit, and the guy looked at me. And I was like, it's okay. Nothing's about to go down.
22 years you've been doing comedy.
Yeah.
At some point, listen.
But
there's a point where you raise levels instantly.
Yeah.
There's a point where I went to jiu-jitsu last week, and this black belt came in. Oh my God, this brown belt was doing shit. He had everything. Josh Wolf, this guy's a capoeira guy.
Yeah.
That could jump over you. He was jumping from side to side, hooking arms, going for legs. This black belt just sat there like it was another day at the office. I never saw anything like that. This guy, he had him in side control. And you know how this guy was getting out, Lee?
How?
With his arms. He kept spinning the guy. And he finally caught his leg and flipped him back. And then the guy came at him again, and he just kept him there for 4 minutes. And finally, the professor said, time. And I looked at the brown belt. The brown belt was all fucked up. And the black belt just fixed his gi a little bit. Because he knows exactly what you're going, what you're going to do. I feel, for the first time as a comic, I feel very not clunky anymore. I found my direction. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ, if we both think back to Seattle.
Yeah.
We thought we had the world by the balls in '96.
No.
And we were just getting started. We were just learning about the wrench.
Yeah, and I wish I had trusted my instinct. If I was going to say anything to a young comic, I wish I had trusted my instinct about what I did well earlier. But you always, when you're young, most of us, I'm assuming some people don't, but most people pattern themselves after a comic. Like, how many people with Attell's cadence have you heard come out of New York?
A lot.
Right? Right? So you pattern yourself after somebody. And at some point, if you take that next step, you start to find your voice. And I fought mine for a long time. I really did. Just because I knew what type of comedy I appreciated, that I would go watch. and what I do well isn't necessarily what I would go watch. Does that make sense? But that's not so I kept trying fighting it towards what I wanted to be, what I watched on stage, what I liked. And I had to modify that a little bit.
Well, we all cut the fat. That's the experience.
Yeah.
The experience comes from just get it. It's so weird when I talk to young comics. And Josh Wolf, you're my witness. There was a time here I got on stage every night. Mm-hmm. Lee, I didn't care what you were doing. I really didn't give a fuck. You're my brother. I love you, but I didn't come to see you graduate from IOU or fucking Improv Olympic. So I'm not going to show. I didn't show anything those days. The first thing you have to do is a set. Then you do something. I took it back to school. Remember when you got sick and you tried to go out at 3:15? Your mom go, mm-hmm. Where you going? Going to play. You were sick.
Yeah.
No, but I feel better. You were sick.
Yeah.
We got to make sure that nothing happens. That's the way I always took comedy back then. Because then I was miserable. I was starving. Who the fuck was I to do anything? Who the fuck was I to do anything? Yeah. I wasn't even in the game. How are you going to get in the game if you're at somebody's party, celebrating, jumping up and down? There's a coffee shop. Do you remember when we went to that coffee shop on that Sunday night?
Which one?
Okay, there was a coffee shop on when you come off Barham Boulevard. The first place you ever took me to a coffee shop in the Saturn.
Yeah.
Where you pulled up to Barham, but instead of making a right like you're going into Burbank, you made a left and you went straight. In that building there, that's now a production building.
Yeah.
Was run by a friend of yours, that it was a script place.
Yeah.
Where you went in there and you could pull scripts and read old scripts. They tried it. They sold coffee.
Yeah.
They did open mics.
Yeah.
But then you also took me to a place in the deep heart of Melrose, one of the first coffee shops, and one of the maybe only coffee shops I went to was you on a Sunday night. Me, you, and Gavin went to a Sunday night off of Melrose.
Off of Melrose, a coffee shop?
Just some fucking friend of yours who booked a coffee shop or something.
We did a lot of coffee
Then we also did the bar where we all bombed in the heart of Hollywood, Boches. Me, you, the black dude with dreads, AJ Jamal, and fucking
AJ Jamal,
and fucking Zoo-Man. And Zoo-Man was the only one who killed
Corey.
And the black dude from How to Pick Up a Single Chick.
Oh, Pierre?
Pierre.
Yeah, Pierre's back in town.
Is he?
Yeah.
What's he doing? Bald? He shaved his head?
Yeah, I don't know what... I saw him down at the store.
And I also saw the little guy back, Anthony Johnson.
Really? Yo, what happened to AJ Jamal?
He did movies and he writes and he pops up from time to time. I think he does the casino thing.
Man, he always
great comic.
Made me laugh.
One of the hardest guys I ever had to follow. One of the guys that when I got a spot at the Comedy Store, I would hate to say who's in front of me. And if they said AJ Jamal or Dom Herrera, I'd think of canceling.
Yeah, AJ Jamal was tough. And Dom, still, I love watching Dom.
So do I. Still, at the Laugh Factory, that monthly show, I go down there for him. I go down there to sit and watch him and see how he pushes people's buttons. That's 35 years of comedy.
Masterful.
Because if I'm doing comedy 27 years, I saw him on HBO when I was not doing comedy.
Yeah.
So that's a complete different fucking level of comedy.
But he does it so masterfully.
That's what he is.
Yeah.
30 fucking years. That's what you are. Right now, I'm burnt out. I'm really burnt out. But I gotta tell you something. It's a bad time to be burnt out. Mm-hmm. Because I'm doing well on stage. Mm-hmm. For the first, I got that. I finally figured out the formula. The formula to prepare for a special.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as a fight. If I don't do the special right, it's because I don't make weight. This last special, I didn't train correctly for it. To be honest, I never trained for anything. The special, me and Lee did the CD, the first one, was on the drive down. And I think it's one of the best things I ever did. It's
What do you mean on
or
the drive
priest.
down?
On the drive down to Brea, we discussed doing a CD, and he rented the thing for $35, and we cleaned it up and put it on iTunes.
You did the set at Brea.
Yeah, and I still think to this day,
One set, not
One
even two.
set.
Not even
it's
two.
one of my best sets ever in my mind. I like doing crazy sets like that and switching it up and
Yeah.
talking a little bit and
No.
telling the story.
I didn't know you that much at that point. I mean, do you remember how much of it was like what you were doing at that point, or was that just off the cuff that night?
It was towards the holidays, so I had 15
Right.
about the holidays. I had 20 that I came up with and 20 that I was working on, and it just all happened to fit. There's some nights where just you have to have a tape recorder on because you never know, and that was one of those nights. The other things I taped are garbage. Anything else I taped was garbage. And then the Seesaw special, I rated like a fucking 5. But I learned from it, and I learned that by the time I got to the special, I was burnt out. I listened to other people. It's just like training for a fucking fight. And I'd rather do it here first for 3 or 4 weeks,
Yeah.
and then do 2 solid weeks and trim off the fat, or maybe do 4 out of 5. That's how to do it.
4 out of 5 what? Nights?
No, 4 out of 5 weeks. So you trim the fat off for about 3 weeks here. Flappers, the Comedy Store, the Laugh Factory, and the Improv. It's a journey. It's not going to be easy.
Wait, and you're going to do...
That's how I would do it.
How
If
would
I-
you do it? But you couldn't do an hour at all those places.
No. So let's say you come to me and go, Joey, we want you to shoot a special February 1st. Today. November, whatever. I bang out Brea. I bang out the Store tomorrow night. I bang out fucking Irvine. And I start from scratch. First battleground is Sacramento. I tested up there. Remember, I want to do 45 minutes and 30. I want to really take them to deep underwater. I don't want them to come up.
You're talking about this one here.
Yeah, if
Coming
I get
up.
this one here. So I would probably do that. I'm going to have ear surgery. So once I recover that whole week of ear surgery, we're going to shut down the podcast. And I'm probably just going to recover.
You're going to tape some ahead of time?
No, and I like doing them in the day of. I want the full patois. That shit about let's make believe it's next Friday the 28th. And then they shoot the president. Here you and me are talking about baseball. Looking like 2 assholes. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Fuck you. I don't like the pre-tapes. So, what are we talking about? Yeah, I would do it that way. I would do a month here, and then 2 weeks on the road, take a week off, 2 more weeks on the road.
If you're doing a half an hour on the road...
No, 45 on the road. But I'm going to work for 45 and 30 for a special. Do you follow me?
Yeah.
I'm going to try to get 45 minutes of material in 30 so you don't breathe. I'm going to come out to jump. I'm going to jog. I'm going to get my endurance up. I'm going to go to Dr. Amy to clean my lungs out. That's why my lungs have been wheezing, because I haven't gone to see Dr. Amy. That's my plan one day this week.
When is that special? When do you think you'll have it done?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I would. I'm just assuming. But now I know how to do it correctly. It's just like a fight. You have to peak with the special. So if you did 2 weeks on and a road, 2 weeks on, and then you took a week off, and then you did 2 more weeks, 5 more shows, 10 shows, and now you shot that special the following Saturday night, and then you worked Flappers and the Ice House that Wednesday, you'll be ready. And then that Friday, when you get into that local town, go to an open mic somewhere and tell them you want to do 10 minutes. Like Chicago has 1,000 open mics.
Yeah.
Go do an open mic, do 25 minutes, and you're ready to shoot a special. You don't want to overburn.
No.
And you don't want to underprepare.
See, but I would rather be under than over. So, for me, this time when I shot this one, I always go just a little bit under. Because because when I go over, I think it gets too memorized for me.
Well, that's what happens, because like this time here, I got caught up in the jokes. You cannot get caught up in the jokes. You have to own the jokes, but lose them and improvise a little bit. It's like when you learn an arm bar. I could teach you an arm bar. Here you go. I learned an arm bar. You're not going to get it because you got to trick me.
Right.
You got to figure out a way now how to trick me so that arm stays there. So all I got to do is grab it and spin, and now that leg comes over. Good night, Irene. But if I'm going to wrestle with you, arm to arm, it's gonna. And I'm pushing off your heel. It's once you see it coming. It's not the arm bar. It's the trick going into the arm bar. It's how I'm gonna get that arm to stay there. You know.
Yeah.
Is doing comedy different when you're shooting versus when you're at a club? Like I imagine it's
You've
different.
seen it. You've
for
been
the camera, yeah.
You've been there for everything. How there? You never see me do anything better than the Ice House. Those working out with Uncle Joey's.
No, those are great.
You're free. You're just free.
There's something about
When
that.
you tell the audience that, listen, this is a roller coaster tonight. I was even thinking of doing a working out with Uncle Joey tour.
Yeah.
Just going to 10
That'd be great.
cities. Listen, $15 at the door. Don't worry about nothing.
yeah.
Whatever you hear tonight, Lee's going to tape it, and we're going full forward here.
Some of my best shows.
That's the funniest shit in the world.
Some of my best shows are late shows that don't sell that well because it's the loosest. It's the loosest loose.
And we've already done a set.
Yes.
We've already done a set, so we've already been at bat.
Yeah.
So now the second show,
You're already
you're
looser.
already loose. So
Yeah.
me, I got to tell you something. This is my problem lately. My big problem lately is, listen, traditionally, the first show does not like Joey Diaz. Traditionally,
You mean the early show?
the early show, these people walk in because a friend told them, go see this guy, and when they get there, I open up with something obscure, and the battleship sinks from there. So, I've learned to energize those sets, where even if they don't think the material is funny, just my actions and my energy will throw them off a little bit, and they'll go, wow, that was something different.
Well, you know what I learned last year? I don't know if I told you this, but I used to move around a lot on stage, a lot. And then last
No,
year,
you're like dizzy. You dizzy people.
yeah,
You make people dizzy after 10 minutes.
yeah, it was too much. But last year and the year before, I really did basically every set with the mic in the stand, and that was it.
That's it. And I don't touch the microphone off the fucking stand.
Now I don't move nearly as much. Now I'll take it out every now and then, but I'm pretty still. But it took just trying to get out of my comfort zone a little bit to realize, oh, that was
Again, this
Yeah.
all comes from experience. If you're a young comic, you could sit there and trick yourself because you're going for the quickest route right now to get somewhere. I'm telling you about the best route to get somewhere, which is time and longevity.
yeah.
Come out here too soon, you're not going to have the legs to do what you want to do. And if you want to come out here and struggle, you have my wish also. You know, you have my blessing also. You're going for it. But I'd rather you do the struggling in your hometown and come out here when you're doing 35 and you're throwing fucking heat. The struggle is too hard here.
Would you have rather have stayed in Seattle?
No, I outgrew Seattle.
Yeah, so did I.
I outgrew Seattle, and that was I did 2-3 years there, and I had already outgrown it. Beside my criminal problems, I could tell that I outgrew it because the guys that were supposed to motivate me weren't motivating me.
No, and
I was motivated by the guys in my class.
yeah.
The guys that were ahead of me in Seattle were not coming back and going, oh my God, you got to see what's going on. It wasn't until I met a guy by the name of,
In Seattle?
the guy that I had to follow that night that died, that he was in that movie The Burbs with Tom Hanks. I was going to say Brian Dunkelman, not Brian Dunkelman.
The guy you had to follow?
Yeah, he came in, he did that movie with Tom Hanks. And Rick
Rick Dukeman?
Dukeman. That guy was the first guy that really opened my eyes into the world of stand-up
Remember, that's
comedy.
right. He kind of took you under his wing a
Right,
little
I
bit.
became friends with him.
Yeah.
I followed him, and when I got off, he waited for me.
But you got in touch with him down here still, too.
Yes,
Yeah.
I touched on him, and I did everything he told me to the letter. When I would call him upset, he would tell me not to be upset. Do you plan on staying here? Yeah, then that's just, you're not going to hit the first 2 weeks. Not anymore. It's not the 70s here. You know, it's not the 70s here where they put you on Welcome Back Carter as an extra. And I didn't get that then. Now I understand it, but it's a tough sell to young comics.
Yeah.
It's a very tough sell to young comics to listen. You're getting sponsored to Laugh Factory, and you're getting sponsored to Improv. Keep your mouth shut. Go to your spots. Write, and keep doing this shit. Get yourself a commercial agent. Get ready to go out and auditions. By the way, I went to an audition today.
Oh, did you?
And do I want to do it every fucking day?
You like it?
Not. But I tell you why an audition's good. You see people. You see people you haven't seen.
Oh yeah, because the guys who go out for what you go out for are probably the same. It's the same group of dudes, right?
But it's funny. When I first got here, I went out against Frank Stallone, Joey Buttafuoco. It was intimidating as fuck. When I first got out here, I remember going to an audition and seeing the guy that they froze in Goodfellas in the audition. I just shit my pants. I had to go in after him. I'm like, why am I here? He's Frankie Carbone.
Yeah.
He got frozen in Goodfellas. You know what it is to follow those guys?
Yeah.
But I was also 32, 33. Then, today I went into a room, and the most notable guy in there, you don't know him, Lee, Sons of Anarchy, the guy whose daughter kicked over Jax Tellers when they went to his house, and he invited him in. He was really good.
Right.
I get that. What do I owe you for the bike? And the guy's like, nothing. We're square. Then he paid for his mortgage. That dude was there. I hadn't seen him in 10 years. And it was funny because he sat right next to me and he goes, how you doing? I go, you were great in the Sons of Anarchy. Do I know the guy's name? I wouldn't know if I told you.
But it's the same group.
And there was another guy there that I go up against for all mobster, plumber, roles. And he goes, it's good to see you. I thought you moved back to New York. And I go, how has it been? We went outside. We all walked. We were on Larchmont.
Oh, yeah.
Which I wanted to go get a slice of pizza for Lee, and I changed my mind. Down the corner, that's where they say is the best pizza.
There's good pizza down there.
It's good pizza down there. That guy owned one up in Hollywood that was very good, but he sold it now. But when I was there, I walked down the stairs, and even though there was traffic and the whole thing, I'm like, I used to enjoy this. And now I could be a little picky and choose. Like this one, this morning when I woke up, I'm like, nah, I'm not going to this, but I can't turn them down because they're coming. And when do you want them to keep coming, you got to show up to these. You can hit them with an excuse from time to time. We have a 6 o'clock for you in Santa Monica. Oh, you don't know what happened tonight, boy. I got a flat tire. The car blew up. I found the burglar in the house.
How many appointments have you canceled in Santa Monica? A million? I just don't set them. When they go, I say, where's your office? And they say Santa Monica. I go, where else can we meet? Where else can we meet? Where I don't...
But no, you went through hell, because what people at home don't understand is these pitch meetings, nobody went to more pitch meetings than Josh Wolf.
Oh, my God.
And you know that nobody sees you till 4:30. Everybody wants to see you at 4:30. And then you get the call at 3:30 that they can't see you till 5. And you're on Santa Monica and 5th Street in the MTV building.
God.
Pulling your head, because you know and the best is when you go upstairs and it's a 10-minute pitch. Or a 15-minute pitch, and they go, well, thank you for coming down.
And no questions. They go, well, thanks for coming in. That was great.
And you get in that car, and you make the left on Olympic, the right on Olympic.
It's just a line of
and
cars.
the light changes 3 times, and you move 2 inches.
I worked on Olympic for 2 years.
Nobody understands that is a fucking nightmare. To get
from wherever to get from even Bundy.
That's why I worked.
And Olympic to the 405. Can take it's bananas, right?
It especially we had nights where he would have shows at the Ice House on Wednesday nights, and the show would be at 8:30, 9 o'clock. I would leave at 6:30 and just make it. It's 20 miles. You were talking earlier about how there's people who you don't you lose track of in LA.
Yeah.
What about your friends who just live in Culver City and you're like, oh, I'm never gonna see you, I'm sorry?
Yeah. My brother lives in Santa Monica.
Your brother?
My brother lives in Santa Monica, but he's always like, hey, you want to come down here? I'm like, do you want to come up here? Because neither one of us want to get on the fucking 405. But it's because LA is so spread out, right? And there's no real public transportation, and everything takes fucking 45 minutes to get. That's why I used to keep food in my car.
How much food?
Well, okay, so I used to work when I worked on staff at Chelsea. The first place was basically Olympic and Bundy.
Right, yeah, I think it was across the street from where I worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, you worked in the Hulu office, right?
Yeah, right there. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
that could take a little while. So I would I always pack food in the morning. I would put it in there, keep it in there. Because I'm no dummy. You didn't ever... Well, it was like an hour and a half in the car.
I never packed food in the car.
Oh, I put fucking snacks right in the middle. Are you kidding?
See, I get too into the snacks. I crash.
No, you're only doing 2 miles an hour. So you smoke a little weed.
So you had your little show there. Any of these bitches gonna come out pretty soon and said you felt up their titties when you auditioned them for the Cowboy Girl?
As a matter of fact, the one time I had somebody in my office that I needed to talk to because somebody in my office made a call to get somebody fired, pretended to be somebody else, and made a call to a company that I had hired to get somebody that company had sent over fired because she didn't like that person. And we had to figure out who it was. So when I brought one of the women into the office, I made sure that there was somebody else in the office. Because I hadn't even thought of it. And then the showrunner was like, you got to have somebody in that meeting with you. And I said, why? And she was like, if you ever end up having to fire her, she can say whatever she wants about what happened in that office. You got to have
very smart.
Yeah,
I never even thought of it.
I didn't even think about it either because obviously that wasn't my intention. But she was like, no, you can't be in there by yourself because if we do have to end up firing her, somebody has to have been in that office with you. It would have never crossed my mind.
It's just weird where we're going. It's just weird where we're going with this. It's just really weird. And like I said, I don't mind. We all fuck up and make mistakes, but don't make fucking fire where there ain't one. Don't make a beef where there really ain't.
And that's a scary thing. Like, it's making women safer in the workplace.
I think
but
so.
Then, like, I'm not in the position to hire anybody. But as a man, it would be a little scarier to hire the hot receptionist or do something like that, don't you think?
You just have to... I think right now you have to just be extra diligent that you
I'm
never...
even thinking about not hugging women when I take headshots.
What do you mean, in the line?
You take pictures and shit with people after shows, I'm thinking of just hugging the guy. And even that's going to stop. I'm just standing there like fucking
like
3
a statue?
convicts. Yeah.
Hands in your pocket?
That's it. Because it's getting bad out there and I ain't got time for this shit. Where are you performing the next couple of weeks?
This weekend I'm in Kansas City.
Oh, you're going back to the wig?
I'm not.
All right.
I told you. Did I ever tell you what he said to me?
This was... Just imagine.
He goes, hey. He pulled me into his office one day. He goes, hey. This is so funny. We're going to talk about this now. He goes, hey. You fuck teenagers? I go, what?
What the fuck?
He goes, do you fuck teenagers? I go, no. And he goes, okay. And that was it. That was the only thing.
You don't need to go there anymore.
So, I'm in the KC Improv this weekend. I think it's the, I don't know, whatever, the 7th.
Send them my love. Tell them I'll be there. We had a misunderstanding last time.
I will.
And then where are you going after that? Where are you New Year's Eve?
I'm taking most of December off. But I do that podcast with Freddie Prinze Jr. called Prince and the Wolf.
Oh, shit. That's right. Give him a shout out and shit. Lisa, what's going on with you? Mom's leaving tomorrow. I'm very proud of you. He hooked Mom up. He was going to put it in Airbnb like some fucking victim of death.
I didn't. Don't worry.
Until they would have busted in there and gave her a Cosby pill or something.
You were going to put... You didn't let your mom stay?
But he got a raid over at the Picasso. They took care of him.
Oh, that's nice.
Mom liked the hotel. They took good care of him.
Yeah, it's decent.
Did you go to that steakhouse at all? Downstairs?
No, it's a sushi place.
Have you? No?
No, we didn't go there. We went to a different one.
Riverside.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, next to like all that stuff there. Dr. Amy was up the corner. My friend stayed there one. I mean, you don't have a lot of options up here. So, like, there's a fucking...
that Sportsman's Lodge.
And that's... No.
I heard that's not good.
No, hookers knocking your door in the middle of the night.
Come on.
People yelling. Yeah, bro.
And then like the nice one, like the Holiday Inn down the corner, is what, $280 a night, $180 a night.
Is that what that is?
There isn't much in the
something
valley,
And
is
you gotta
there?
cross the street from a Denny's, and the backyard is a Ford dealership.
There are no nice hotels in the valley.
No, there's Burbank has one. You got to make a right.
But then that's 15, 20 minutes away. I like having her 5
Yeah,
minutes
no,
away.
no. That's a nightmare. That's down whatever street. It's by church. It's across the street from Popeye's Chicken. There, that's one of the best hotels in the valley. That one there. That's where gangsters stay. That's where fucking George Masvidal stay and UFC fighters. They put them over there when they do the Fox broadcast.
Really?
Yeah, that's where I know a guy that owns a company that stays there. Anyway, go to joshwolf.net. What is it?
ComedianJoshWolf.com.
ComedianJoshWolf.com and get you all your Josh Wolf info. As far as the Flying Jew, he's always looking good. He's going into Hanukkah season, ready to fucking go. But without further ado, let me explain something to you that I've heard great things about him. If you need great talent for your business, but you're short on time, you just have to get lost in a huge stack of resumes to find your perfect hire. You just need the right tools. What if hiring could be easier, more streamlined, and less time consuming? So even when you're busy, you could still be smart about the way you hire. If you're hiring, you know that quality hires keep your business moving forward, correct? Yeah, but you also know it can take a lot of time to find the right candidate. You know where to post your job to find the right candidate? You know how hard it is to find the right candidate? It's tough as hell out there, especially when there's so many candidates available to you. But with ZipRecruiter, you can post your job to over 100 of the web's leading job boards with just one click, so you can rest easy knowing your job is being seen by the right candidates. Then ZipRecruiter puts its smart matching technology to work, actively notifying qualified candidates about your job within minutes of postings so you can receive the best possible matches quickly. That's why ZipRecruiter is different. Unlike the other hiring sites, ZipRecruiter does not depend on the right candidates finding you. It finds them. You can even get a head start on the interview process by adding screening questions to your job post to identify the most qualified candidates so you don't have to waste time sorting through a stack of resumes to find the perfect fit. No wonder 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get quality candidates through the site in just one day. That's why ZipRecruiter is the smartest way to hire. Let me tell you what I'm going to do for you, because your Uncle Joey likes you. The holidays are coming. The New Year's coming. You want to get rid of that dead wood in your office. Here's what you're going to do. Go to ZipRecruiter, all right? Now, it's been used by growing businesses of all sizes and industries. So I don't care if you own a shoe store, whatever you do, ZipRecruiter will hook you up. And right now, listeners can post jobs on ZipRecruiter. You ready? Free. That's right. Free. Just go to ZipRecruiter/church. CHURCH. That's ZipRecruiter/church. One more time. We're going to give it to you for free. ZipRecruiter/church. Listen, ZipRecruiter is the best way to go when you're looking for a qualified candidate. Now, it's a new year. You've been single for 10 months. You know, you don't know what's going on with yourself. I mean, you got a nice job, you got a nice car, you got a nice cat, you got everything to catch a girl, you got the tattoo. I mean, you've done it all. Have you ever considered it's your fucking stinky asshole in your nutsack? Do you look at women's faces when they go down on you? Do you see that onion is fucking protruding their nose hairs? You see that little Filipino eyebrows raising up? You know why? Because your ass stinks and it carries over into your nutsack by your helmet and it surrounds your helmet. It's right there in that area with the jeans. That's why HelloTushy.com is the way to go. I mean, listen, Thanksgiving is a time to express your gratitude and recollect on what you're truly grateful for. It's also time when you invite your family members, those fucking savages, into your home to eat up all your turkey, and then they go in your bathroom, they blow it up with their post-meal shits. This year, make sure when your family shits in your house, they leave with a clean fucking asshole. Give them a start in life. You know what I'm saying? Get a Tushy bidet for $69 with a risk-free 90-day trial. 90-day trial. Listen, don't have grandma leave with that fucking stink bucket of an asshole with gravy butt, give her a tushy. You know what I'm saying? Why are you going to make her wipe with that flimsy toilet paper? Her fucking gorilla finger's going to bust through the paper. Then she's going to have shit on her fingernails. Then she's going to try to give you corn on the cob. Fuck that shit. Tushy to the rescue, bitches. Tushy will wash away all those mashed potatoes with a gentle stream of water straight to your little muffler hole, giving it the best clean you've ever had. I mean, listen. People want to leave the leftovers, but they're not hanging their assholes. No dingleberries when you got Tushy. Make sure you're ready for the holiday bum rush with Tushy. Stop wiping with that fucking nasty toilet paper. Your finger always breaks through it, and now you got bacteria in your fingernail, and you want to hang out with your friends and eat fruit and shit. Fuck that shit. Get the Tushy bidet. Bidets are back, you filthy animals. HelloTushy.com right now and use the code CHURCH for 10% off your order. The end of your stinky asshole ends now. Let me tell you something. You know those people you look at and you go, you know what? I can't pick a winner at the track. But I'll tell you what, I bet his asshole stinks like 10 dead fucking cabbages. Give him a bidet for Christmas. It's $69 with a 60-day guarantee. If Lee still has his and I still have mine, what does that tell you about the quality? Within the stink or the weight, we would have busted it by now. But fucking Tushy is still there holding on. Don't fuck up. Go to HelloTushy.com and use code CHURCH for 10% off your order. I want to thank Lee Syatt. I want to thank Josh Wolf. And I want to thank the church family for having our fucking back, all right? I'll see you motherfuckers tomorrow. Even if you don't have tickets, I need you outside with signs, sticks, bazookas, machine guns. We got to show Netflix who the fuck is running things. You understand me? I'll see you Wednesday night or Thursday. Stay black. Have a great weekend. Josh Wolf one more time. And my main man, Lee Syatt, a.k.a. the original Christ Killer.